Deebo Samuel might play week 4. Not might play, plans to play week 4. This is breaking news, hence why I'm a little late getting in the door tonight, because I had to redo my title, my thumbnail. I had to make sure I had all the information on screen ready to go. Deebo Samuel becomes a complicated play, though. And we definitely have to check in the morning on this one, or in the afternoon, really, on this one. Make sure that there's nothing brewing. This could be one of those things that could screw you if you end up waiting on him and he doesn't end up playing. But it could also piss you off if you don't have him in your lineup and you walk into kickoff and you're like, I'm going to play it safe. You don't play Deebo, and then boom, you're regretting your decision. But Deebo Samuel expects to play. Olave game time decision. All kinds of news to go over. Super chats to be had. Phone calls to be taken. Fantasy Football Show Graveyard Edition. Every Saturday around midnight Eastern-ish, we go live and do this little song and dance. Week number 4, let's get to it. Dial in a few. Hang tight for now. Hit the thumb up button, slap it, subscribe if you're new. Let's roll.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Deebo Samuel says, I plan to play week number 4, and we say let him cook.
Let him cook.
Let him roll, let him roll, let him do something magnificent. This top 5, 6, 7 wide receiver walking through the first part of the season. And we had Cooper Kupp as a top 5 wide receiver. We had Deebo Samuel as a top 5 wide receiver. Sneaky top 5 wide receivers. They were playing like top 5 wide receivers. Then both of them went down to injury. But we don't let that get us down. We're still smashing a whole bunch of stuff. But imagine if we didn't have injuries to Deebo and Cooper Kupp, how good this season would feel so far. But Deebo's back, baby. There was rumors that he was in his pads and uniform on the sideline yesterday, the day before, maybe participating limited in some drills. And then the Niners go and lose a very, very important game last week. And now they're sitting here, even though they have a nice matchup against the Patriots on Sunday, they're saying to themselves, we need to make sure we don't lose this game. We need to make sure without Christian McCaffrey for maybe the next 2 months, if not the entire regular season, if not forever, we need to make sure we win games, and we may need Deebo out there. Not to mention, everybody needs to understand that these injuries, these hamstrings, these calf injuries, these groin injuries, all of these soft tissue injuries, every one of them is different. And Deebo's calf injury is not Christian McCaffrey's calf injury, which makes everyone think Achilles tear. Sometimes the injury's in a different part of the muscle. There are 3 muscles in the calf that kind of intertwine and then go downstream and turn into your Achilles tendon. Just because someone has a calf injury does not mean they're going to suffer an Achilles tear. Just because somebody has calf tightness does not mean they'll go out there and re-tear it. There is a risk of re-injury with him getting out there and dancing a little bit too early, but he apparently thinks he's good to go. He's apparently tested the thing. Let's just hope he doesn't pull up limp during the game. Let's hope he does not return too quickly. So we've got dilemmas. We got a lot of Deebo Samuel dilemmas, I'm sure. Like this one right here, Deebo or Higgins. I mean, you got to go Deebo for now, barring any sort of update tomorrow that makes us think otherwise. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get to that in just a second. Appreciate all of you in here. Punch that thumb up button. All 400 of you in the building. We'll have more people filing in, and I need you to do your part. Spread the word, even if it's to your grandma, even if it's to somebody in an elevator wearing a Cowboys hat and you want to make fun of them and say, hey, go watch the Fantasy Football Show. Smitty rips on Jerry Jones all the time. There are ways to spread the word without telling your exact, direct league mate. Okay, so spread the word. Hit that thumb up button. We're almost at 30,000 subscribers. So we're growing this bad boy and we're doing it live. All right, let's get into the news. Then we'll get into the super chats, and we'll get into the phone calls. And let's pull up every little piece of news I've got on the docket here. First and foremost, Kenneth Walker is good to go for week number 4. This is excellent news. Rockout was struggling with this last night. Kenneth Walker. Now, what's it mean? Does Walker get all the work? Does Charbonnet fall to the wayside? Do they get a 50-50 divide going in Seattle? Tough to know. I don't know the answer. You don't know the answer. None of us know the answer. But I do know this is the most dynamic running back on the roster. Even though Sharps has looked excellent, everything Sharps has done, Walker would have done and probably done it better. And we also have a video for him, so he has to be better, right?
Kenneth Skywalker. Kenneth Lightsaber swinging Skywalker.
And yeah, to this news, I see a couple of your comments, and it's good questions to answer. Hey, does Jennings become benchable now? Tough to say. Like, what if he's on a snap count? What if we're not told he's on a snap count? That's going to be a lot of the dilemma tonight. People are going to be like, would you go Deebo or would you go Jonathan Mingo? We're gonna send some people. Laps will be had.
Get lamb.
Laps will be had, but we will get a lot of Deebo Samuel questions on this live stream tonight, so hang tight on that one. But Kenneth Walker is back in action, and he is a dynamic mofo. This guy is one of the best running backs in the league at changing directions and stopping on a dime, to the tune of the old school Barry Sanders, to the best of anybody's ability to be even a smidge of a resemblance of Barry Sanders. This would be the guy in the NFL that has that kind of stop, almost like stopping in step. You know what I mean? Like if you're running full speed, if a normal human being, even a majority of the NFL is running full speed, it takes a couple of steps to stop. Kenneth Walker is one of those guys that's going like 80% and on one step can like stop on that step. He is so unbelievably gifted at changing directions, going north, south, east, and west, whereas most running backs can mainly go, north. So let's hope he gets a ton of work in this contest against the Lions, and they throw to him, and he's healthy. He doesn't re-injure himself. I'm real worried about re-injury with both of these guys, I'm not going to lie, but I'm hoping that they are just different cases than every other case we've seen. It's not like all injured players that go out there are going to re-injure themselves. So Kenneth Walker to the moon. Very excited that he's back in action. Very, very good news. We've got more news. Do not go anywhere. There's still tons of news. Laporta ankle is expected to play week 4. So get ready to fire up the Laportinator, because the Laportinator is going to be one of the better buy lows, I think, right now, which is why on the buy low board you see Laporta down here as one of the only tight end options that are very, very good buy lows. Kincaid is also a pretty good buy low, although he got kind of cooking, and McBride on the injury might be a good buy low as well, but Laporta feels like the best buy low tight end in fantasy football, period, plain as day, plain and simple. And in Laporta, you might have a dilemma of, do I play this guy or Laporta? My answer is probably going to be majority of the time you're going to be play Laporta. If he's playing, you're playing Laporta. Okay, so that's going to probably be my answer for the most of the questions. But you're free to send a super chat or ask a question or call into the phone line. Tyler Huntley will start week 4. Remember when I gave some Superflex advice earlier in the week? Winston, be on the lurch or pick him up now in Superflex. Winston will eventually be starting games in Cleveland, and he's going to be throwing. I'm not saying he's the best player in Superflex to have. I'm saying if you're struggling to have a second quarterback, Winston might be a good option. Also said pick up Tyler Huntley before this becomes official. Now it's too late, although you could scour your waiver wire and see if he is sitting out there on waivers, and he would be a fantastic plug and play for desperate, dire situations. But Tyler Huntley, and hopefully he gets this entire offense going somehow, some way. I know he's got a lot of talent. I've always kind of liked him. Similar to Malik over in Green Bay. I've always thought Malik was good. And I always thought he was going to be something special. And he didn't really turn the page or become what I thought he could be. And if you guys have followed me a long time, you know I was really high on Malik. And so Green Bay getting the most out of him. LaFleur is such a good coach. This is such a good team in Green Bay. I've been very, very happy watching Malik get on his horse and get going. I think Tyler Huntley isn't quite as capable maybe, but he's got a great ability to be a backup in this league if he's in the right spot, and this is a good spot. So I think this could be good for Huntley. Hopefully it's good for the rest of the Miami Dolphins. And hopefully he gives this offense, more importantly, when you think of a guy like Achane, who is one of the better buy lows in fantasy really in 2024 week 4, entering week 4, Achane right here. You think about, okay, you're a defense, you're going to try and shut down what's going on in Miami on the run, right? You're going to try and shut down this run game, 8-man front, stack the boxes, make them beat you through the pass. Well, now Huntley gives you that potential dynamic of being able to run a little bit, being able to keep the defenses honest, and being able to make sure there's not just an eight-man front awaiting this man Achane in week number 4. So this is a good move in general for Achane. I know a lot of people will not really understand that, but that's okay, because that's why we're here. That's why we do what we do, and that's why we do it live. Joey Bosa was ruled out for week number 4. This is a horrible situation for the Chargers. Absolute horrible situation. Rashawn Slater, pectoral, ruled out. Joe Alt, not likely to play in this game either, if not already ruled out as well. I don't have that graphic in front of me, but yeah, this whole entire offense is going to be in shambles walking into this game. However, it does appear like the field general, Justin Herbert, who's nursing a double move high ankle sprain, because this head coach, wild man head coach Harbaugh, who I don't think he knows where he is, to be honest with you. I think Uncle Harbaugh, as I like to call him, who looks lost, and maybe his team's gonna keep winning, or maybe they won't, who knows. But this man has recklessly put his quarterback in harm's way, and he has a brutal matchup awaiting him, given he has his 2 main offensive linemen down, Bosa down, and an injury-prone J.K. Dobbins being forced to try and navigate the middle up the gut without those 2 absolute monsters to help lead the way. I don't know what's going to happen to J.K. If J.K. makes it out of this game without getting injured, I'll be very shocked. If Herbert makes it out of this the first half without getting hurt, I'll be very shocked. And the fact that he re-injured his ankle last week when he played when he shouldn't have played makes me question Harbaugh's decision making. What's he doing? You're probably losing this game anyway against the KC Chiefs. Why on earth would you throw your quarterback out there without your 2 best offensive linemen with a high ankle sprain that he re-injured last week, and most certainly can't be back to square one? He's behind what he was last week. Bose, this is going to be, and this is why I am so high on Patrick Mahomes, Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, and even the Steelinator, the Lionheart, the man that I think some of us may get burned having in our lineup, and some of us may be celebrating tears of joy after Sunday's game if the Lionheart gets fed the way he could get fed if the Chiefs get up early in this game. Rare footage.
What is a Lionheart? I am him.
When times get tough, they call on a beast. That beast rises up and starts to feast. Carson Steele will sharpen and do his part, because he, the beast, is the Lionheart. He is the Lionheart. He is the Lionheart. He is the Lionheart.
I also love this man this week, Xavier Worthy, who a lot of people are running away from Worthy. No. What a bad mistake. Smitty, we've had 3 weeks of football. Oh, we have had 3 weeks of football. Smitty, yes, we've had 3 weeks of football. Okay, and during that 3 weeks of football, has Worthy crapped the bed 3 weeks in a row? Well, no, Smitty. In week 1, he had 2 touchdowns, and they used them all over the place. Okay, so basically he had 2 bad weeks, 1 amazing week for a rookie. Sounds kind of reasonable when you really think about it, don't you think, Bob? Well, yes, Smitty, but a lot of the other fantasy football content creators out there, the Garbage Caleb content creator, the Garbage Steven content creator, they keep saying that Mahomes is no longer an elite quarterback. Well, let me ask you a question. No longer an elite quarterback, what basis do they have on that? Because as far as I remember, yes, last year was kind of a rough go, still QB7, but kind of a rough go, still top 10. Wait a minute, has he ever been outside the top 8? Has he ever been outside the top 8, Philip? Or Steve, or whatever your name is? Well, I mean, I don't know, Smitty, you tell me. Well, I'm looking at it here, and how can he be outside the top 10 quarterbacks when he never has? Not to mention that, yeah, last year was kind of a bad year. Year before, he was the number 1 overall fantasy football quarterback and number 1 overall fantasy football scorer in all of fantasy football. Well, you make great points, Smitty. Yeah, I do, and I also want to say that this game is going to be a game where the Chiefs get right, and Mahomes has not been in tune. And Mahomes knows that. Mahomes has vocalized that. And Mahomes is going to probably be the greatest of all time at the position. I'm pretty confident he'll figure it out with the weapons that he has and the fact that we've already seen Worthy become a top 10 wide receiver during 1 week when he had 2 touchdowns, ran 1 in, caught 1, and Mahomes and Worthy miscued on a few big plays in the past 2 weeks. I'm going to say that with the Chargers down and out, this is going to be a high-scoring, get-right game where not only Andy Reid wants to win the game, but he wants his offense to feel in tune so they can take the momentum into week number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This isn't something where they just try and squeak out a win. They say, let's use this as batting practice. Let's get our offense in tune. And Worthy is going to be electric. But Smitty, are you worried about the last 2 games Worthy's had? Not really, because when you think about it, Steven, Worthy was the focal point in the preseason. Well, Smitty, we all know preseason. Don't give me the preseason stuff, Bob, Steve, whatever your name is, because Worthy, when this offense was marching down with the ones, everybody in the game, they featured Worthy as a rookie in the preseason in a complete straight drive. Nothing but Xavier Worthy. He is well-oiled for a rookie. He is in tune for a rookie. He knows this offense for a rookie. And I guarantee you he will get more and more and more work going forward. And you can say whatever the hell you want. I don't care. And if Worthy has a 50-yard, 4-catch game, guess what I'm doing? I'm still buying low. I'm not running away after 3 or 4 or even 5 weeks of football with the rookie. Remember what Jamar Chase did his rookie year? It was like this, and he tailed off. And I said, buy low. He didn't do anything the next week. I said, buy low. He didn't do anything the next week. I said buy low. He still didn't do anything the next week. And I got ridiculed and absolutely blasted for it. Next week. To the moon! The man went to, no, not to the moon. He went to Saturn. And he single-handedly won people their leagues at the tail end of the season for multiple games, exploded, became everybody's darling after that. You can say whatever you want after 3 weeks of play. Mahomes this, Mahomes that. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not here to appease the few. I'm here to appease the many, and we're here to win fantasy football championships.
Let him cook.
That does not happen by tiptoeing around weeks 1, 2, and 3. Be overreacting to weeks 1, 2, and 3. To consume garbage content and petrified Peters creating this stuff, perpetuating it around as if it's gospel. It's great. It's great. Buy low on Mahomes because of the gospel, the horrible gospel that people are shoving down people's throats. Let them speak. Let them preach about Mahomes dropping off. Let them tell you he's no longer a top 10 QB when he's absolutely never been outside the top 10 QBs. Are you out of your minds? I don't understand what's going on here. All I know is I love to see it, and I'm here for it. And we're here for it, and we're going to win because of it. Get Worthy in your lineup. Get, obviously, Rashee Rice, who we called, by the way, on the channel. And Mahomes is coming for everybody. Those 3 and 4 TD games are in the cards. This man is 1 4-touchdown game away. Total touchdowns from being like number 3 out of QB scoring on the year. Let's calm down. Let's calm down. All right, let's get to the rest of this news, and then we'll answer the super chats. Evan Ingram will not play week number 4. This is not good news if you had Ingram, but you probably knew this was probably coming because it wasn't a big surprise, but there's that information for you. Jaden Reed was removed from the injury report and will play week number 4. Well, that's kind of cool. If only he had his quarterback back to throw him the football. Oh, wait a minute. We got breaking news here today as well that we haven't yet gone live on, but here it is. Jordan Love will play week number 4. And if you remember, who was the guy that people are whispering about being a top 12 wide receiver, a fantasy football low-end wide receiver 1 after week 1? Well, Smitty, that might have been Reed. It was Reed, Steve. You're correct. Jaden Reed was on everybody's, he might just be a low-end wide receiver 1 radar walking out of week number 1. How quickly the masses forget. How quickly the general population says, you know what? I haven't seen him for a while. I'm not going to put 1 and 1 together and get 3 like Smitty does. And I'm going to sit here and say maybe, I don't know what the key component here is in Jaden Reed becoming a near top 12 wide receiver. Oh, maybe it was Jordan Love. Maybe Jordan Love returning to action, even though it's a tough matchup. This guy runs the ball. This guy plays the Deebo Samuel wideback role for this Green Bay attack. And maybe Jordan Love is going to figure out how to be crafty in this game. Maybe this very smart, very astute, very capable, out of any coach I can think of right now, it will be this head coach, capable of finding a way to score and be very good against a very tough Minnesota Vikings attack, defensive attack. Pass attack, shutting down Stroud, shutting down everybody, but things change. Not everything is rinse and repeat, and matchups certainly play into account. Every time you think something's going to go a certain way, remember when we talked about how the Carolina Panthers probably wouldn't win, right? But that was what everybody expected, and look how they did. Things turn and flip all the time. Reed is a outstanding buy low. I think we got him on this board. If we don't, we need to put him on this board. We've been talking about him as a buy low, but he needs to be added to this list ASAP to make sure everybody knows in the 11th hour, if you're able to go get Reed, you go do it and you do it live, because Reed has the potential to be, I would say, if you don't want to call him a league winner, he would be a near league winner. Somebody that can really bring that potential elite wide receiver 2 value at the cost of a low wide receiver 2, or in some cases in your grandma leagues, a wide receiver 3. Jordan Love, tough to say if you should start him. I imagine a lot of you that have him have a very mediocre option. Let's say it's Dalton versus Jordan Love. Dalton's got a good matchup. You could go Dalton. That's safe. Love's a little riskier, a little bit higher upside potentially, but a little bit riskier, and those are definitely dilemmas that we can talk about in a bit. It's a really good dilemma, actually. It's a very tough one, because your brain says go Dalton based on what we know, but your heart wants to say go Jordan Love. Let's get to the rest of these super chats. Here we go. Oh, I'm sorry, the rest of this news, then to the super chats. AJ Brown is out for week number 4. That is finally official, downgraded to out. So get AJ Brown out of your lineups. Not that you had him in there anyway, or get your hopes, put them back. Put your hopes and dreams of AJ Brown returning back in the trash can. This Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty, I'm going to drop some of my favorite hires walking into this week number 4 on Underdog. I like this hire on the touchdown, a receiving or rushing for Kyron Williams. You get both receiving or rushing. Now, it's not a full one times payout. It's a 0.81, but that's still solid. I still take that all day long. Josh Jacobs, 59.5 yards. Think about it like this. This team is, they know Jordan Love's not 100%. They know that the passing game is going to be the part of this equation that is tough to figure out for the Green Bay Packers against this very tough Minnesota Vikings defense. They will be running the hell out of the ball to try and balance out the offense, to try and get the defense to get on his toes, to spread the defense out, to start trying to find miscues and misfirings in the defensive formation. And the fact that this guy right here, Josh Jacobs, gets his quarterback back, gets, I think, more than ample room to run because of the threat of spreading out the entire offense. This 59.5 higher seems like a cakewalk to me anyway. And I know that the matchup is not the best overall for this team, but I think that Jacobs will be a very good matchup. And probably my favorite. And if anybody would like to have the ability to do these, you go to Underdog Fantasy. Okay, Underdog. Promo code Smitty gets it done. The link I'm dropping in the live chat right now. Hit this link. I'm going to pin the link in the live chat right this very second. Here's the link. Boom. Smash. Hit that replace pin link. There it is. Play Underdog Fantasy. Promo code Smitty. Underdog promo code Smitty. They'll give you a free Patrick Mahomes pick this week. They'll give you a 50% match on your first deposit up to $1,000. Just use code Smitty or use the link that I just dropped and pinned. It's in the description. If you're watching the replay of the video, just click that link in the description near the top of the description. So I love this Nico Collins higher than 79.5. And I just dropped a hundo on this particular assortment of hires. And we've been hitting them lately on the channel. I would say that, I dropped a hundo on this one as well. Let me find the other one. This one's almost a little bit safer to do. Let me see if I can find the other. This one might even be a wee bit safer. Let me see, where did I have those hires? Oh, I know where they are. Let me drag them onto the screen here. These hires seem like they could be even safer. I dropped a hundo on both of these. Barkley, 78.5 rushing yards. I think Barkley's going to get that one. And I think Mike Evans is also another good one. 64.5 rushing, receiving yards higher. These are all pretty damn good hires if you ask me. And if you need any, those are the ones that I would recommend. All right, let me get to the last piece of news. That might be it. We might be out of news here. For those that don't know, Christian McCaffrey has returned from his treatment in Germany, and there's conflicting reports as to how long he'll be out. The conflicting reports really are coming from people that don't understand what was said, or they try and twist up what was said. Shanahan said he's got 2 weeks off, and they think that, in the next handful of weeks starting Monday even, they might start ramping him up to see what is what. And everybody took that as, oh, he's coming back like in 2 weeks. And that's not what he said. It's not what he said at all. So Shanahan's merely saying we need to see where it's at. And there's almost little to no chance they would rush this at the expense of losing him for the entirety of the season. And even if he did come back, let's say in 4 weeks, because he's not coming back in anywhere near 2 or 3. If he came back in 4 or 5 weeks, they would ease him in, and he would not be ready to take on a full workload because he's keeping it really, really mellow and chill in his workouts, trying not to agitate anything, trying to buy himself as much time as possible. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, this will lead to a lot of potential risk for compensation injuries, meaning that the Achilles tear could happen. That's a compensation injury from the Achilles tendonitis. Achilles tendonitis is not a, hey, you're going to tear your Achilles. It means your Achilles is not in good shape. And Achilles tendonitis most certainly is a potential gateway to an Achilles tear. Don't let anybody tell you different. Okay, if anybody says that it's not correlated at all, I'm sorry. But you might want to stay here more often than go wherever you were going, because we call injuries better than anybody in the business. The calf injuries should be at bay. If it's not, we're in real trouble, because that means the calf injury is very much more tied to the Achilles tear than originally thought. But a calf injury, the reason you have calf injuries, and mark my words right now, one of the biggest risks and recidivisms in this situation for Christian McCaffrey will be another calf tear or a re-injury of the same calf or the other calf or another part of the calf muscle. Again, there are 3 pieces of your calf muscle. There's 3 different muscles in the calf. Mark my words, he will be at risk for re-injuring or injuring his calf. Why? Achilles tendonitis, Achilles injuries are telling you that the calf injury is telling you the Achilles is not healthy. The calf injury, it's very much tied to it. You have Achilles issues, oftentimes you have calf issues. You have calf issues, you oftentimes can have the potential for an Achilles tear or Achilles issues. These are very much tied together. The reason he has the calf injury is because of the Achilles and vice versa. This is not a safe play, even when he returns. And at some point, Jordan Mason will probably be deemed the full-time starter in everyone's mind across the fantasy industry. Right now, people are holding out hope. I get it, and I don't blame you. And I certainly, in some cases, would take Christian McCaffrey for a freaking Deontay Johnson if you had Mason and Guerrero. It's a good gamble to take if you're in that situation, but do not be surprised if we get information in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks that McCaffrey's just not coming back. It's just not responding. He has good days. He has bad days. This will never go away. He's never going to be the same guy. It'll never heal. This is a chronic problem, not a temporary one. This is chronic Achilles tendonitis. This is something he will struggle with the rest of his life. This is something that will get progressively worse, and he'll have good days, he'll have bad days. And Jordan Mason and Guerrero must be cuffed. If you don't cuff the two running backs that I've been saying to cuff the entirety of the offseason, not just the in-season, you are missing the boat. You are going to let what happened to McCaffrey owners that did not grab Mason happen to you because you don't get Guerrero when you own Jordan Mason. So make sure you're doing your job. Do your job or take a lap. Herbert, we went over that. Kittle is expected to play. So Deebo's expected to play. Kittle's expected to play. Niner fans are mad at me right now. They're pissed. They're pissed right now. They don't like. I'm not a Niner hater at all. I love Deebo. I love a lot of Niner players. We even did a standing ovation for Christian McCaffrey on the previous live stream during the 8 p.m. show, the last 8 p.m. show, to basically say thank you to Christian McCaffrey. There's no hate here. There's only love. There's only thank you. Thank you, Christian McCaffrey. Thank you. But he's done. He's never going to be the same player. And only a Niner fan is going to go, come on, bro. He'll be okay. He'll be okay, bro. He's not going to be okay. You need to live with that fact. And you need to hope that Jordan Mason stays healthy. But Jordan Mason is not, even though we're Masonites here. We're Masonites here. Jordan Mason has not had the carries that he's getting right now since he was back in high school. So Guerrero is important, but Mason season is in full effect. And Masonites better assemble for week number 4 because we're doing it live.
Well, no going back now. You sure you want to do this, Kyle? Yeah, we have to. Let's go. Start the procedure.
Masonites assemble.
Masonites assemble and do it live.
Let him cook.
We're doing it live. Masonites, God, we're a special crew. We're a very close-knit community. The Masonite community, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. So, I think that's all of the news right now. We'll get to the super chats. We'll open some phone lines. We'll do it live. Appreciate everybody being here. There is more, news lingering around the league. We've gone over it on other shows. Things like, Trey McBride won't play week number 4. So MHJ is going to get extra fed. That puts JD5 Kyler. A lot of questions about JD5 Kyler are going to come down stream tonight, and that puts that at a kind of a I'm in flux. I'm not sure where I'm at with that because it's like without McBride, Kyler gets a little bit of a knock. JD5 is looking amazing. He's on the way up. Kyler's still on the up. It's a tough call. Cardinals defense. That's a joyful experience. The Washington Commander defense, that's a joyful experience. These are 2 electric quarterbacks. So we'll probably be going to a chat vote whenever we get that question. Let's get right to the $20 haulers. Thomas dropping a 20 watt on screen. G Money coming in strong with a $20 as well. G-Money and Thomas, thank you, boys, for dropping those 20 biscuits on screen. Let's go over to the G-Monies first, and then we'll go over to Thomas's, and I'll handle all the other Super Chats in order in which they're received, including the first Super Chat of the evening, which was Superfish, and I appreciate Superfish. I'll put yours right here, Superfish. Thank you so much. G-Money, this team 1-2, 12 team, 1 or 0.5 PPR, JD5, JJ, Devontae Smith, Dell, major injury for you at wide receiver. Gibbs, ETN, I like that. Benson, Garendo, nice job with Garendo. Maybe you're looking at Mason with ETN, or maybe you're looking to trade, Garendo to that Mason owner, or you just hold and try and strike gold. McBride, injuries are bad. Hill, Tua injuries, bad. No, that's Taysom Hill. Honestly, not sure if this team is good enough to win it all. Probably going to be tough, bro. I'm not going to lie, but I think you'd have to have Devontae Smith come back, Dell come back, both of them ball out, and then it's in the mix for sure. It is. It's in the mix for sure. If you think you can tread water, if your matchup feels like you can win this one. Otherwise, I am considering selling JJ in a 1-for-2 trade that lands you a Nico, that lands you a Tyreek Hill, that lands you a Harrison Jr. in conjunction with the running back, and in conjunction with a potential player or upgrade somewhere. Maybe it's 2 wide receivers. Maybe the Deebo Samuel buy low from last night and the night before. We hammered that home like monsters. Mashed potatoes. I mean, really. That's maybe over now. This news right now, I don't know if anybody's trading Deebo anymore. We might have to take him off the board. And the same thing's going to happen with Kupp. Wait a week, but then Kupp's going to start being hard to get. But I'm seriously debating, bro, going after a wide receiver combo, running back wide receiver combo, Harrison Jr. And if you can get 2 wide receivers, hard to do, but if you can, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with a Collins and I don't want to say Reed's enough to give up JJ, but something along the lines of you're upgrading somewhere. You've got ETN and Gibbs. You got 2 really good RBs though that I consider pretty fantastic for your situation. So I would say look at those trades, and if you can get anything pulled off in that direction, I think it could be a good move for you. Otherwise, standing down for a week is also not a bad move to let guys gain some value. Dell come back, etc., etc. Geno versus the Lions or Baker versus the Eagles. I don't like either one of these plays, like in general, but Baker's not a horrible play. I'm just probably going to roll with Geno, who's playing very efficient football for the most part. And there's a lot of touchdown opportunity, I think, in this game, a potential shootout. Give me that Seattle Seahawks offense with Ryan Grubb. Very excited about what he's doing and what he's putting together. You got Kenneth Walker back. Should be a pretty good game, but you could go either way. Baker's played really well. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a 2 or 3 touchdown game, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Geno had a 2 touchdown game. So you're banking on Baker having maybe a little bit more upside but more risk, and having Geno be steady Eddie 2 touchdowns. Will Geno have 3 touchdowns? 4? He could, but I'm going to say he's probably locked in for 2. Whereas Baker's getting 0 or 1, or he's getting you 4. So you got to kind of pick your poison. Chat, Baker or Geno, please vote in the chat. Start Hurts with his 2 wide receivers out, or Kyler. Thanks, Smitty. I'm going to go Kyler in this situation. Superfish, very good question. I don't blame you for hesitating, but I think the matchup for Kyler is glorious. And as much as I want to start Jalen Hurts, I don't think I'd lose any sleep if he ran 2 touchdowns in, still threw one to Goddard or Johnny Wilson, who's a decent wide receiver pickup if you're in dire straits. But I wouldn't lose any sleep over it, because I think, there's still a lot of negatives to have him outscore Kyler Murray this week with his wide receiver situation. Traded Godwin for Evans and ETN. I would take Evans and ETN and run. That will end friendships potentially. Diggs and Steele for Tyreek Hill. I take Tyreek Hill, and I also run, even though I love Steele. I love that situation, but we don't know what's really in store for him over the long haul, or even really if they're going to bring in Hunt for more work than we imagine in week number 4. Start 3 PPR: Wilson, Ayuk, Pickens, Jacobs, Olave. I'm gonna go with Wilson, Jacobs, and Olave, assuming Olave goes. He's questionable. He's 50-50 to go. I think I didn't bring that up. Actually, that news is right here. That's the only one I hadn't touched on yet. According to Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, Chris Olave questionable as a game-time decision for Sunday's contest against the Falcons. If he plays, I'm playing him because Ayuk has been trash. Pickens is not consistent enough. But if he sits, I guess I go with Pickens over Ayuk because Deebo's back, Jennings is still going to be in the mix, Kittle's back, and Ayuk is complaining and having temper tantrums in practice about wearing black shorts over red shorts with Kyle Shanahan, and he's just a complete diva. And he looks like the Niners absolutely wasted money on this kid. I'm not saying Ayuk can't bounce back, have a good career. I'm not saying he can't have a really good game. I know Ayuk truthers are being here the next day acting like I've trashed him, to the ends of the earth. I'm not. I'm giving the potential upside to Ayuk to bounce back at some point, possibly. But right now it feels like Ayuk is in his own world. And it feels like Ayuk's holdout did exactly what I predicted it would do. Have him starting off either injured or very slow and out of tune and out of sync. I think I've called the Brandon Ayuk thing to an absolute T the entire offseason. Go watch all of our videos we did on this guy. Wasted our time. We'll never get that time back. Thanks, Ayuk. Absolutely wasted our time. We called it to a T. So I'm going to say, Ayuk hasn't earned this in my opinion. But you got to monitor the Olave news. Need a flex, full PPR, Braylon Allen or Jerome Ford. I'm going to go safe with Braylon Allen, but Ford is still a very good play. This one here, Sup Smitty traded Barkley for Kyren and Kenneth Walker. Look, this is a tough one. I probably would have said stick with Barkley because he's absolutely on fire. Not to mention you could have just got a whole lot more. People would have paid through the roof for getting Barkley, and you didn't get that return. I'm not saying it won't work out for you. I'm not saying I don't love Walker. I'm just saying you didn't get an overpay from that other guy. You just didn't. Got offered Neighbors, JSN, Brooks, and Moss for Jamar Chase and Achane. I would rather have Jamar Chase and Achane by a country mile, son. By a country mile. It's not even close. That is a really lopsided trade. Drop Wicks for Dobbs. I don't think you can win on this. You're going to choose the wrong player. This is that changing lanes on the freeway. You're going to get out of one slow lane to get in the faster lane. The lane you get in starts going slow. The lane you were in goes faster. I think Dobbs is probably, I would say, is the safer option target-wise right now. Do I like Dobbs? No. Do I like Wicks a little better? I do, but Wicks is tough to count on because his rotational role, in a sense. If I'm picking two here, I'm picking Michael Wilson in the matchup this week in Keon because I don't think you know which wide receiver to go with, not to mention it's the Minnesota Vikings, Mr. Frost. So let's attack that next week. I think you pick up Wicks this week. He does nothing. You're going to want to drop him, and you're going to blame it on him. But it's the matchup as well. Start Deebo or BA. Alex, if Deebo's playing and you don't hear talk in the morning like he's going to be a decoy or major pitch count, which could be the case, bro, I think I go Deebo, but we might have a sense that it could be a pitch count. Then we have to change directions. We need to be here in the morning. I can't emphasize enough that this is not a hard cemented in decision yet on what we do, what direction we go with Deebo Samuel. This is something that will evolve, completely be liquid. Be loose and liquid with this situation, my guy, as we say on the channel. If you're not liquid with the Deebo Samuel situation, you're going to end up getting screwed if you don't adapt and adjust in time. Start Deebo, T, JSN, Jacoby, Adunze, Worthy. I'm going Worthy, and I'm probably going Deebo right now, but swapping out for T Higgins the moment I feel bad vibes. Or you could put T in now to be safe and then switch it to Deebo if you start feeling comfortable, if you want to take the more appropriate, safe approach. Start one wide receiver in a flex, BT, Reed, Monty. I'm going to go Monty, and I'm probably going to go with Reed this week despite kind of a tough matchup. He's just such a dynamic player that runs the ball, catches the ball, maybe even throws the ball. Maybe he kicks a field goal. Who the hell knows? Traded Devontae Smith and Shaheed for Mike Evans. I love that trade. You don't even need the Jerry Jeudy side of that. Mike Evans is one of the better buy lows. He should be on the buy low list. Actually, let's put him on there right now just so there's no confusion coming out of this week. And people say, I didn't see him on the list. You don't have a lot of time, but that's no excuse. Get on the ringer, send a telegram, send a Snapchat, send a message on ICQ to your buddy, and make sure you get Evans on the cheap while you still can. He is absolutely one of the better buy lows walking into this week number 4. And that probably will change coming out of this week. I think Evans, who has kind of disappointed, it hasn't been because he doesn't have the talent or he's dropped off. Let me put this over here. So Evans is definitely also a buy low. Okay, so let's hit these other super chats. This here, McBride out. Can you suggest a streamer or tight end? Deep League, Fan Otten, Jonu. I'd probably go Jonu. I'd probably definitely go Jonu. I don't know, of the names you gave me, those are the guys that we're going to roll with. I don't know that there's a whole lot out there off the top of my head that I think would be available in your league, assuming Kenneth got picked up. Ben Sinnott's not ready yet. You've got Zach Ertz as a potential solid pickup. Parkinson should have a better week this week. Those are all good moves. I think I probably like Jonu a little bit more. He might be a safety valve and mechanism in this game in week 4, so I'll probably go in that direction. Let's hit a couple more of these super chats. Appreciate you. We've got, do we have any $20 haulers in the building? $20 haulers get immediate attention, jump straight to the front of the line. Racing Boy dropped to 20. Racing Boy, I see you, and I appreciate you. Let me make sure I have my alerts turned on so I can see these super chats coming in as well. So Racing Boy says, do I trade Evans and Braylon Allen for Tyreek Hill? This could be something that you do it this week. You regret it because Evans has a big day, though. I'm just letting you know. But in general, I'd probably rather have Tyreek Hill than Tyreek Hill than Evans. I think Braylon Allen's a wild card because, like, what if he's starting in week 10, 11, 12 on? Like, I'm not saying we want anything to happen to Breece Hall. He's our absolute golden boy. He's 8 feet tall, or 7 feet tall, they say, but I think he might be 8 feet tall. Breece Hall is a baller. I love him. He's going to be a top 2-3 running back for the rest of the year if he stays healthy. But Braylon Allen is a league winner if he gets in there, and he's still an outstanding flex play go forward, even if Breece is fully healthy and firing on all cylinders. But I think that I would go Tyreek Hill because the upside's there. That's me. Make sure you trust your gut on it, and thank you for the $20 hauler.
To Mars!
You monster, you. Appreciate you, broski. This one's from Gabe. Gabe says, traded BTJ and Shakir for Worthy. Thoughts? I would rather have Worthy personally. I think that this week will make that look pretty clear at the end of it all. Even if Worthy does bad, though, I'm still wanting Worthy moving forward. He's a rookie. He's going to progress at a different pace than the average player, is progressing that might be slumping in the beginning of the year. He could have another week, maybe 2 weeks from now, where he dips and doesn't do anything. But I believe he's the key component of getting Patrick Mahomes back on track. Also, now that I have him, do I start him over Ayuk or Higgins? I personally would start Worthy over both this week. It's a fantastic matchup. Higgins is a pretty decent play, but he's by no means any safer. Your gut is leaning Higgins. If your gut says Higgins and you barely believe in Worthy like I do, I believe in him tremendously, then don't let me change your opinion. Like, Higgins is a safe play. You probably won't lose sleep at night. Maybe you will. If Worthy goes out and explodes. If Higgins goes out and has 80 yards and a touch and Worthy has 40 yards on 4 catches and 1 run for 7 yards, you're going to be mad at me. So make sure you're trusting your gut. How can I move Ayuk and Jennings? Bro, I don't know that you can anymore. Maybe you go after Evans. Go after Evans, go after ETN, go after Achane, go after Tyreek Hill. Those would be the best options for you, bro. Those are all very good buy lows that you might be able to get into using that kind of player. Yoshi or Coleman. I'm going to go Coleman rest of season, tied walking into this week because Yoshi's been scoring touchdowns on a regular basis. $5 hauler, start 2, full PPR, Deebo, Jacobs, Ford, Bucky, Dobbins, and also Scott McBride. Should I start Strange or Taysom Hill? I'd probably start Strange this week. And I'd probably, because Taysom's been struggling with injury, I'd probably say Deebo unless we hear he's a decoy or snap count is scaring us in the morning. Then you're going to go Jacobs with maybe Dobbins, who's got a tough matchup and situation without 2 of his best offensive linemen, or his 2 very best offensive linemen. And Bosa on the other side is out. Herbert's banged up. Dobbins is still a good play with these options. I like Bucky, but he's been banged up. Ford, I like a little bit. He's steady. You could go Ford over Dobbins if you want safety, but his upside might not be as high as Dobbins. Dobbins has more risk, but if Deebo plays, it's Jacobs and Deebo, and if Deebo doesn't play, it's Jacobs and either Ford or Dobbins. You're going to have to trust your gut on that one, but you kind of get a sense of where I'm leaning. Let me go to this one from Rose. Rose, appreciate you. $10 hauler. Sent a Dunze for Worthy last night. Let's go. I love that. I like both of them, though. I'm not saying that you worked over that other owner. I like Odunze a lot, but give me Worthy. What's up, homie? 2 wide receivers, 1 wide receiver, and 1 running back. Tyreek, Rice, Higgins, Deebo, Najee. Already started Singletary, and he crapped the bed. Help me out, brother. Okay, so you started Singletary already. You're going to go Rice and Tyreek. That's clear as day. Your 1 running back is gonna be Chuba here. And then your flex play, in my opinion, is going to be Deebo if we're not hearing snap count, Higgins if we're worried or scared about snap count, or decoy. Daniel, pretty easy call. It just comes down to Deebo's health. This one right here, drop Swift to pick up Lionheart. I don't mind that at all. I think Swift is definitely washed at this point and is not a good player, and he's not in a good system, and he's not going to get the football. They're going to absolutely abandon the run, and Roschon Johnson's going to be transitioned over to anyway at the RB position in Chicago. Are we starting Deebo or Garrett Wilson? Garrett Wilson's safer to vault unless we hear outstanding news about Deebo, which we could. Like, he looks fantastic, looks elite, looks like he's not hampered at all. Like, something like that's got to come out to get you to move Deebo into the lineup over Garrett Wilson. Can I still start Jennings at flex? Sure. Deebo might be a decoy. Other options are Roschon, Palmer, Coleman, Justice Hill. I'd probably say Rashad Jennings, off the big week he had, is deserving even in a timeshare situation with Deebo this week if Deebo's not fully ready to go. 10-team PPR, Derek Carr, James Cook, Jordan Mason, Justin Jefferson, Shaheed, Dalton Kincaid, Steele. Benches Deebo, Garendo, Mixon, A.J. Brown. Start Deebo over Shaheed. I would if there's very, very good news and nothing bad. So yes, I would. If we get worried about timeshare, then Shaheed, and then Olave sits out, then I probably start Braylon Allen to be safe, or Steele. Steele's a very high risk, a very high upside play that I absolutely love, but it's very risky. Braylon Allen's safe. Trade away Hill for Nico and Mooney, or AJ Brown heads up. AJ Brown heads up. I don't know what that means, but trade away Hill for Nico and Mooney. I'd rather have Nico over Hill straight up. So give me Mooney, sure. I think you mean straight up, heads up. Yeah, okay. That must be something they say, out west, or out east, I mean. Heads up. Trade for him heads up instead of straight up. But yeah, I definitely think I'd take Nico, plain and simple. So whatever you can do. But don't take AJ Brown. He's injured. We don't even know. He's supposed to come back, but we don't know. Can I drop Zamir for Leggett? Sure, but I don't love Leggett yet, but I think he will be something special at some point. Yeah. I love picking him up, but I don't love playing him yet, but I definitely pick him up. Do I start Deebo over Jennings if all the news looks good? If we hear something crazy, then no. We start hearing and sniffing out like there's a timeshare and he's not going to get even close to the amount of work we want, then yeah, you're going to go Jennings for sure. Picked up Wan'Dale Robinson, traded him for Worthy. Look, Wan'Dale had a great game. If anybody started Wan'Dale, you did an outstanding little move. But at the end of the day, I want Worthy over Wan'Dale for the long haul. This is a guy in Worthy that exited week 1 as everyone's darling, top 15 wide receiver gem. And now he's fallen off the face of the earth. It's amazing to me. Full PPR redraft, give Flowers and Bigsby, get Steele and JMO. This is pretty even. I'd say trust your gut on this one. Chat, if you want to vote Flowers, let's take all the gravy and icing out of this situation, and let's just talk about the meat and potatoes of it. Flowers versus JMO. Can you guys vote in the chat? Flowers versus JMO. Also need one tomorrow. Dotson, Wicks, Bigsby, or Johnny Wilson. I'd probably go Wicks in that scenario, but I don't love that situation. Maybe there's a better option somewhere. Johnny Wilson's okay though. You could go Johnny Wilson. You know what? Go John. Wicks is safer, but that defense is gonna be tough, bro. That Minnesota defense is gonna be tough. Guys, can you vote on that Flowers situation? JMO or Flowers? Flowers, JMO. Flowers. I'm gonna say JMO personally. JC, $5 hauler. I trade DK, JD5, Pollard, and Pitts. I get ETN, Laporta, Burrow, and Worthy. Give me the ETN side. Laporta, Burrow, ETN, Worthy. That's tough, though. DK, Pitts, JD5, I love it. Pollard, I don't trust, but I trust the entire package that you have on the ETN side of this, whereas I don't trust Pollard, and I'm unsure about Kyle Pitts' situation. So I'm going to say that despite not wanting to trade JD5, Burrow looked like he was back on his horse. I feel pretty good about that situation. Feels like a Deebo decoy game. Very well could be, and that's why we're waiting the news tomorrow morning as to what's going to look like. PPR, need one wide receiver, one flex, Swift, Quentin Johnson, Coleman, Leggett, and Yoshivas. So I'd probably go with Coleman and Yoshivas personally. I think Leggett could get there. I don't trust Quentin Johnson, to be honest with you, and this is going to be a tough matchup anyway. Dub, appreciate you traded Kirk and Braylon Allen for Reed, win or loss. I'd probably say, it could be a loss for you if Braylon Allen gets in the lineup. I'm going to tell you that right now. But right now, current state of affairs, if you need Reed, Reed's going to help you. That's a really good trade in terms of that. Love the show. Smitty traded Braylon Allen, Shaheed, and Hawkinson for Worthy, Pacheco, and Algier. This could go either way. Like I said, if Braylon Allen gets into the lineup full-time on an injury or an alien abduction where Breece Hall gets returned safely the next year, which is the way I'd rather prefer it if it was to happen, Braylon Allen would go to the moon and you'd lose this trade. But right now, at this moment in time, we don't even know if Pacheco comes back this year, to be honest with you. Worthy's the better side of it. So, Michael, there's pros and cons, but the now pros outweigh the now cons. Smitty, you missed my super chat. JK, you're the GOAT. Thank you, Luke. Appreciate you dropping the funny super chat. This one right here from GK, who says, one wide receiver, one flex, Garrett Wilson. You're going to go Garrett Wilson. You're going to probably go Kenneth Walker, my guy. That's an easy call. Also stash Kenneth Walker or Kendre Miller or Keaton Mitchell. Who the hell is Kendre Miller anymore, bro? We have no idea if this guy's even ever going to amount to anything. He's garbage. I wouldn't worry about Kendre Miller one bit. Keaton Mitchell, Keaton Mitchell, I'd probably go Keaton Mitchell. I'm surprised that Kendre Miller is even, a thought to anybody at this point, because that guy is he can't stay healthy, and he doesn't know the playbook. He doesn't know anything. My running backs are JT, Connor, and Cook. My wide receivers are Jettas, Nico, and Godwin. Who do I put in at flex? I mean, Skynet, I don't know what your lineup requirements are. I'm going to assume they're standard, so I'm going to say JT and Cook are your starting running backs. Your wide receivers are Jettas and Nico. And between Godwin and Connor, you got to go Godwin. He's exploding. So that's what I assume is the case here for you, Skynet. Thank you for the super chat. Superfish dropping a $2 hauler. Thanks, Smitty. You're the super goat indeed. No, you are Superfish. Appreciate you with the super chat. Let's see if we got any other $20 haulers. Not right now at this moment in time, so I'm going to stay the course. It looks like we might have got one coming in here strong. Super chat, $20 hauler alert coming in strong. Start to Worthy, JMO, Addison. Easy, man. Put Addison on the bench until Naylor proves he's not the actual guy there. In that, yeah, that's easy. Tank out, start Rome, Tutu Atwell, or Leggett. You're gonna go Rome. Rome is the safer play. Tutu's gonna get used more. There's a lot of people that found it funny that I ripped on Tutu Atwell, and that was before the injuries. But and it wasn't to say he wasn't good. It was just there's no role for him. Now Tutu's sitting there at maybe the top spot. How crazy events turn. Tutu's very, very decent this week if you need a wide receiver that could get you 7 or 8 points. But I think that he would be second choice for me in that situation. 12-man double flex, Kyler Bijan, Gibbs, MHJ Flowers, and Dell. Kincaid, bench, Cousins. Okay, what are we doing here? Opinions? I guess I would say, I like this team a lot. The only thing I'd be considering is maybe trading. I don't think there's much to do. You have no depth really to trade. No one wants that depth. No offense. Doesn't mean your team's not really good. I think you wait on this. Flowers for. I don't know that you can do anything. I guess I would say there's players I like a little more than Flowers, like Reed. I obviously love, you could ask for Evans. You're not going to get him. I like Worthy a little more than Flowers. I love Collins more. I love, but these are going to require pieces, obviously. So you're kind of stuck, and I don't really want you to trade any of that lineup. I really love the lineup, unless you could trade Bijan into a worried Achane and get that, Flowers upgraded to Collins or Garrett Wilson or something. So follower, maybe go look at the Bijan owner, or I'm sorry, the Achane owner, or maybe even, I'm not saying I want to trade Bijan. I'm just saying I like Achane as much. I like, you could go, I don't know if there's going to be another direction you could really take it other than Achane. Gibbs, I don't know if Gibbs is probably thought to be a slight downgrade, I think, for most people than Bijan. So Bijan down to Gibbs, and then can you move that Flowers into a Collins type player? If so, then I'm smashing that, and I'm saying bye to Bijan. Not because I don't trust him, I just trust Gibbs a little bit more. And that's not a real knock on Bijan. It's more of a me telling you how much I love Gibbs. And same thing with Achane. Hurts, K9, Gibbs, Aaron Jones, B. Rob, Lamb, Amon-Ra, Evans, Laporta, 3-0 moves. I'd probably say with this team, you're looking really, really good. I'm trading Aaron Jones on the high before he gets injured. I'm trading B. Rob Jr. on the high before he gets injured. Love your receivers. Don't really need you to move any of those guys. Love Laporta, given he's already on your team. So it'd be Brooks and Aaron Jones, Brooks and B. Rob. Maybe K9 and Brooks, K9 and B-Rob, K9 and Jones. Going to be hard to trade running backs together, 2 running backs for 1 wide receiver. I think I would make a play for. Or you could go RB. You could keep B-Rob as your running back 2. You could keep Brooks as your running back 2 eventually, and have B-Rob or Aaron Jones serve as the running back 2 for now. Trade one of them. But yeah, I don't know. ETN is a slight upgrade over K9, maybe not. So what do? You can't really go there. Maybe K9 and Brooks, or K9 and B. Rob Jr., or K9 and Aaron Jones for Achane. Kyron's going to be out of the question. That's the only thing I see, man. I'd say stand down after that and just kind of let it play out. But try and trade 2 of those RBs for 1. Especially Brooks and Aaron Jones, or B-Rob and Aaron Jones. If you can get, even if it's a wide receiver, like Collins or MHJ or something like that, Garrett Wilson, on the doubted, like one of those guys, and then roll with the other RB and just maybe open the door to another trade next week off of good play. Start Monty or Reed. I probably go Monty given the matchup of Minnesota, but I still very much like Reed this week for those that have him. Garrett Wilson versus Denver or Ford. I'm going to go Garrett Wilson. Thank you for that question. Smitty, someone dropped Pittman. Do I pick him up? My bench is Braylon Allen, Dobbins, Garendo, Singletary. No. I'm sorry. I know that people think Pittman's this big name, but right now he could definitely be worthy of grabbing. I'm not trying to make fun of Pittman's value. If he's out there, I'd probably grab him. But I think with your team, there was no opportunity for it. Superflex, full PPR, Deontay, McLaurin, Shaheed, Mooney, Braylon Allen, Deebo, start 2 wide receivers and a flex out of those. You're going Deebo if the news looks good. If not, you back off it. Deontay's questionable. If he plays, he's a good play. If he plays, make sure he's not limited. But I would say in general, it would be Deebo. So your 2 wide receivers and a flex would be Deebo, Deontay, and McLaurin. If one of those guys can't play, it goes down to Braylon Allen, or if Debo's going to be a decoy. And then from Braylon Allen, it goes to Shaheed in that order. You're just going to go straight through that order of plugging one guy in if let's say somebody's out. We got 2 $20 haulers. Racing Boy coming in with a $20 hauler. Rich, a million coming in with a $20 hauler. Appreciate both of you guys dropping 20 wads on the screen. I'll put you right here. You get answered immediately and jump straight to the front of the line, as does DJ Hertz with the $20 hauler as well. You guys are absolute maniacs. All right, Smitty, Braylon Allen and Evans for Tyreek or Monty, or Evans for Reek and Pitts. Evans for Reek, or Monty and Evans for Reek and Pitts. So you're trading Braylon Allen and Evans for Reek, or Monty and Evans for Reek and Pitts. I don't like Monty and Evans. I don't think I do that. No, because I'd rather have Monty over Pitts, bro. So give me the Tyreek Hill side, but it is close, and I wouldn't blame you if you backed out of it and you're like, I don't want to get rid of Evans, because he will be good, but he's also older, so I'd probably do go Tyreek Hill. Superflex full PPR lineup is Mahomes, Barkley, Connor, Puka, Deebo, and Njoku, Deontay, McLaurin, Braylon Allen, Mooney, Rodgers. I like this. Rodgers is a good second quarterback in this situation. You got absolute great running backs, assuming Connor stays healthy. I wish you had Benson So you had that lockdown. So that's a little bit of a concern. Deebo's coming back, obviously, this week. You have to monitor whether you keep him in there. This is a good squad. I think the only thing you can do is you wait, because you're kind of waiting for Puka and Deebo. It's a good squad that got ravaged with injury, and you're in a bad spot right now. But you either trade Puka and Deebo, which I don't want you to do, or there's no sell highs other than McLaurin, maybe. Like Connor and McLaurin in a final last-minute trade for an H-Hand, a potential player like ETN with something or whatever. I would potentially do that. I really would take ETN in something small, or ETN for McLaurin and Connor. However, you might be forced to later on, if you feel like your team can't hang, which I think it will, once Puka and Deebo are back, you might have to divide Barkley into an H-Hand and a wide receiver. But it's got to be an amazing wide receiver. It's got to be like a Deebo's injured coming back wide receiver. You have Deebo, but you get my point. That's that kind of firepower, even if it's packaged in an injury like that, which there are very few situations like that. But I'm just trying to tell you that, like, would I trade for H-Hand and an injured Deebo, given the context here, for my Barkley? Yes, but that's an amazing trade. You can't trade Barkley unless you get something like that. I would probably wait a week. Barkley's probably going to have another good game, even more solidify his value, and then you'll be able to make a move if you feel like you need to coming out of this week. Yo, brother Smitty, you're the GOAT and the man. Thanks, appreciate you, Rich. Quick question, was offered Gibbs, London, and Dell for Tyreek and Najee. I would take Gibbs, London, and Dell over Tyreek and Najee, and it's not really that close for me. So I would definitely pull the trigger on that. That's a good trade for you. I think Gibbs is an important piece, and then I just don't trust Najee at all. So I would smash the hell out of that trade. Fire with a $20 hauler. Appreciate you. Hi, buddy. Good to see you. Start three. Ayuk, Evans, Jennings, and Braylon. I'm going to go Evans. I'm going to go Ayuk. I'm probably going to go Jennings. I like Braylon Allen a lot, but those are pretty lucrative, very high volume plays. So those feel like the best options. I like Braylon Allen a lot. He's a crafty move. If there's some sort of like mishap or banged up situation in the morning with one of these guys, or Deebo looks 100%, you're like, I'm not going to put Jennings out there now, then you could go Braylon over Jennings in that situation. But Ayuk, even as bad as he's been, complaining, crying, temper tantrums, I'm still probably starting him in that scenario. Moss, Jacoby Myers, Pollard, Dobbins start two. I'm going to go probably Zach Moss and probably Dobbins, even though Dobbins has a tough matchup. You could go Pollard if you want, but I don't trust Pollard right now. If the chat disagrees with that one, please let them know your vote. If Rachaad White is out, flex Bucky or Michael Wilson. If Bucky's the starter, I'm starting Bucky if Rashaad's out, for sure. But Michael Wilson, I'd still maybe start Bucky. But Michael Wilson's a really good play as well. His matchup's fantastic. He got a lot of targets last week. Braylon Allen for Dell or Worthy. Look, there's pros and cons. Do you need the now production? Do you need wide receiver help? Then I'm on the Worthy side of this, because Dell's injured right now, so he has less value than Worthy. Give me Worthy. But know that if Braylon Allen got in there, Braylon Allen would be the better side of the trade. But that's if an injury strikes. Jaden Reed for Ford or Monty. I'm going to go Jaden Reed for Ford. Do not trade Monty. I think you're getting him. So, yeah, I would trade Jaden Reed for Monty if you need a running back. I would not trade Jaden Reed for Ford, even though I like Ford a lot. Start, sit, commit, likely, standard. Who do you roll rest of season? Probably going to say, looks like we got 20 gifted memberships from, who is this? Who's gifting 20 gifted memberships? New Age Outlaws dropping 20 gifted memberships on the screen. New Age, you're an absolute monster.
Mars.
Absolute straight savage. Appreciate you. Everybody thank New Age if you get a gifted membership from New Age right now. Start, sit, commit, likely, standard, or who do you like rest of season? I'm probably gonna go commit right now because he's on fire. But I think if rest of season, I'm gonna say likely, and I think Andrews ends up either getting hurt or falling off or whatever. So I do like likely a little more long term, and Komet does have trouble staying healthy and all that. So let's see how it goes. PPR one flex. Lionheart, JMO, Dotson, or Coleman. Not a lot of Lionheart questions yet. I'd probably say you're gonna go JMO. I want to say Lionheart. If we hear some sort of crazy, like he's getting all the work or something, then we're gonna switch over to Lionheart. But we need that kind of information to make the switch. Flex 1, K9, Detroit, Jacobs, Minnesota, and Akers, Jacksonville. I'm going to probably say Jacobs is a safe play here, but I do like K9 a lot. I just don't know. We don't really know what his workload's going to be. So I'd say if you're going to go K9, and I'm okay with that, let's make sure we really hear something solid. If not, if it's just assumptions that he's going to get a full workload, just assumptions that he won't be splitting it 50-50, then I think you need to roll with Jacobs, who's going to probably get fed a lot. Start 2, half PPR. Steele, Walker, Worthy. I'm starting Walker and Worthy. Unless we hear something negative about Walker, then we got to change directions. But as much as I want to say Steele, Carson Steele is a fun play, that scenario, we're not doing it. Mason, Monty, Reed, Wilson, Parkinson, flex. Let's see, any changes? Reed, Monty, Wilson, Parkinson, flex, Jones, Braylon Allen. I mean, Braylon Allen is pretty nice over. That's Garrett Wilson, then no. But if that's Michael Wilson, then I'd rather have Braylon Allen, I think. But if it's Garrett Wilson, you're good to go. This seems like par for the course. Walker over Aaron Jones, maybe, but that's kind of a risky play. Chat, can we vote on Jones versus Walker? Kenneth Walker or Aaron Jones? Please vote for Baytown. Let's give him our full attention on this one. Walker or Aaron Jones, please. Please vote. Best fantasy show on YouTube. Trade away. Thank you. Trade away Neighbors, James Cook, and Watson to get Etienne and Deebo and Reed. Neighbors, Cook, and Watson. Woo. I'm going to say Etienne, Deebo, and Reed by a hair. And I love the neighbor side of that, but there's some pros and cons to it. James Cook is playing like fire too, but I'd probably take that Deebo side. You're getting 3 players, and that helps offset some risk. And Reed's very underrated. Cooper, Godwin, Ford, Pickens, pick 2. I'm going to go Godwin for sure. And I'm probably going Cooper, who's coming off a big game, bro. He's just probably the safer option. This one here from Knapp, appreciate you. Start 2, Drake, JMO, Worthy, Steele, or Braylon Allen. I'm going to go with Drake London and Worthy. And if you have any worries about Worthy, JMO's fine. That's a great play. There's nothing wrong with that if you're not on the Worthy train yet. You want to wait and see. I get it. Start Brian Robinson or Godwin. You got to go Godwin, I think. Brian Robinson is a good play, though. I don't want people to think he's not a good play. This one right here just traded Cooper. Thank you for those Outlaw, for those gifted memberships. Everybody thank Outlaw if you got one. Traded Cooper for Mixon straight up. I'd rather have Cooper, Amari Cooper, to be honest with you. But Mixon, once he is fully back, maybe he goes on a tear and does what he was doing before he got injured. Because it was looking like I was wrong about Mixon. And I even said, like, I'll take a mini lap for now, coming out of week 1. But he's banged up already. He's an older player. I don't know if I'm going to be wrong at the end of the day on that. So, traded Jacobs for Evans and Ridley and Darnell Mooney for Deebo. Let's see. I'm sorry. Jacobs for Evans. I like Evans a little more. Ridley plus Mooney for Deebo. JD5. Yeah. JD5. Okay. Thomas, you got to put some punctuation in here. So I think you got Ridley and Mooney for Deebo, which is a home run. Very, very good trades. I love both those trades if I understand them correctly. Yes, sir. Jacobs or Chuba or Deontay this week. I'm going Chuba over. I'm sorry. Hold on. Jacobs or Chuba. Okay, you need to use punctuation as well, guys. This is like, it's a big word salad. I think it's Jacobs or Chuba and then comma. It's just like Tyreek or like this all smashed together. I'm going to go Jacobs over Chuba if you need a little bit of upside and you're willing to risk it. Chuba's safer. But give me Jacobs personally, but Chuba is safer. Know that. Chuba is safer. Jacobs has a little bit more appeal, more risk. Tyreek or Deontay, I'm starting Tyreek. Anything can happen. Trust your gut on that, but I'm starting Tyreek. Jacoby or BT, have PPR this week. I'm going to go BT, but Jacoby's a nice play with Adams out. He really is. Super flex, pick 2, Hurts, Darnold, Caleb Williams. I'm going to go Hurts and probably Darnold this week. If you want to start Caleb, go Hurts and Caleb. But I'm not sitting Hurts for Caleb Williams. I'm sorry. I'm just not doing that. Flex, Williams, Commanders, or Steele, Chargers. Michael Wilson Jr. or Steele. I'm probably going to go Steele unless we get bad news in the morning about workload and Kareem Hunt. Like, he's got to get all the work. Like, Smitty, why am I not on the Uranus board? Because you're an absolute legend, Rockout. Appreciate you for dropping the super chat. Hi, big bro. Just joined the vid and got Wilson, Marvin, JSN, and Mooney playing. Would you start Deebo over Mooney? As long as we don't have a vibe of decoy or very limited snap count. If he's on a pitch count to a degree, I'm not too worried about it unless it's a severe pitch count. Playing, would you start Deebo over Mooney and running back? I have Stevenson and Najee. Would you start Steele over any? So Stevenson and Najee. I'd start Steele over Najee maybe. But maybe not Stevenson. Chat, can you vote on Stevenson, Najee, and Steele? Stevenson, Najee, Steele. Can you rank those 3 running backs this week? Stevenson, Najee, and Steele. Thanks for the help. Trade Monty for Deebo. I'd rather have Deebo if you need a wide receiver. I'd rather have Monty if you need a running back. So it's an even Steven trade. Very good for both sides if both owners are looking for one or the other thing, right? That's a very even trade. There's no bad side of that. Hurting at wide receiver 2, Michael Wilson or Leggett. I'm going to go Michael Wilson, who got tons of volume last week, and it's a great matchup against the Commanders. And pick one, Stevenson, Michael Wilson, or Akers if Mixon is out. I would probably say Stevenson. I can't sit Stevenson, my guy. Appreciate you for dropping the super chat. Rock out to the moon. Thank you, pal. This one from Aaron. Aaron says, Roshan, Dobbs, Braylon Allen, or Worthy. You know my answer to this. It's Worthy all day long. Worthy to the mother-freaking moon this week. Phone lines are open. Dial in, dial in, dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial in, dial in, dial in. Let me hit this video for you real quick while we wait.
Hi. What would you like? Footballs, please. Lots of footballs, please. Coming up.
He's Marvin, he's 11 feet tall, and he loves to consume the football. He's Kyler, he's 4 feet tall, but Starvin' Marvin will answer the call.
Okay, Thomas, sit Hurts for Fields, no way, bro. And enough to talk Xavier Leggett Sunday, and not enough talk on Xavier Leggett Sunday. Huge sleeper. We like him, Thomas. He's not. Look, Leggett. We were higher on Leggett than probably anybody you can find. So we definitely love him. But he's in motion. Don't start him yet, but you're picking him up. Everybody should be picking him up if you've got room for it. And then his full PPR need 2 wide receivers and 1 flex. J-Mo and Worthy, and then probably I'm going Braylon Allen. Don't answer change if Mixon does. Answer change if Mixon in or out. If Mixon was in like a full go, I'd probably start him over Braylon Allen. But J-Mo and Worthy are locked in, and Braylon Allen's my third on that one. Appreciate you, Murph, for asking the question. Let's go over to Double A. Double A, you're live. What's up, guy?
Let's talk about that video.
Yeah, Marvin.
Feed Junior the ball.
Feed Marvin Harrison the ball. If Marvin and Kyler were on the same page, and they're not, and which is exciting news. If they were on the same page, Marvin would have had 6 touchdowns in 3 games. It would be, oh my God, he's the best receiver to ever play the game. That's the kind of talk people would be coming out of. Everybody's so excited about Neighbors, and Neighbors is right there. But it's amazing that 130 and 2 touchdowns and 1.5 in football, that's the way it should be the entire 3 weeks. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully. What?
After week 1, I got a message and somebody said, "I told you so. Rookie wide receivers never work out."
Yeah.
I said, "Be patient. Go to Padawan."
Yeah. What else you got, Double A?
Any hesitation about Mr. Walker? I just got in and heard you say something about him. I just need a little flex option between K9, Mr. Pickens, and Scary Terry, and I just hopefully K9 isn't getting 50-50 split.
We don't know. I wish we knew, but we just don't know. We have no clue what this situation looks like, to be honest with you, bro. I wish I had answers for you.
Safer? I was thinking maybe it's safer to go with Scary Terry now that the
Yeah.
Jaden looks like he might have.
I think it's probably the safest move. Is there upside for Walker? I guess what I fear is you're going to end up saying, like, Scary Terry gets 80 and a touch, and you're going to be like, man, I hope Walker is, like, mediocre to get, So I would definitely be okay with Scary Terry over Walker for 1 week.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a great
All
matchup.
right, man. I appreciate your time as always.
Yeah. Appreciate you, bro.
All right.
Call in if you got another
one.
one. I'll be here. Call in if you got another one. All right, let me go over to Caleb from Atlanta. You're live.
Hey, what's up, Smitty? Love what you do.
Thanks,
Just
pal.
calling to say some positive things about my boy George Pickens.
Okay.
Week 1 against A.J. Terrell. Week
Uh-huh.
2 against Sutton. Week
True.
week 3, they run the ball till there's nothing on the clock. Love his target share. Love his talent. I want you to send him to the moon in a couple weeks. Man.
Yeah, we'll send him to the moon if he earns it. But here would be my one question mark. It would be like, okay, at what point do we say that they just don't throw enough, and that if he doesn't maximize his opportunities, he won't have a big day? That's the only concern I have, because this team doesn't score touchdowns. They just, it's all defense and dragging the game out, kicking field goals, and so we'll see. Maybe Fields gets on in a groove, and I'm hoping he does. But Fields is winning. That's great. But from a fantasy perspective, I mean, Pickens does feel like he's kind of living in a similar vibe of where Garrett Wilson feels like he's living in, just a very limited opportunity share that you're like, wow, it's just like if Garrett Wilson would just get more looks, he'll be fine. If Pickens just got more opportunities, he'd be fine. But yeah, you're right on some of the matchups, and we'll see what happens. He's definitely a good buy low.
Yeah, you're right about that, Smitty. I think his potential is a little higher with Deontay gone, but no, you're right. He hasn't proved anything yet.
Yeah, but hopefully he does. I'm on board with the idea that he can. All right, bro. Appreciate you. Later. John S., you're live.
Hey, hello, how are you today?
What's up, broski?
Not much. I got in one of my flex half PPR leagues. I'm still debating about playing Goddard or Amari Cooper.
Amari or Goddard?
Yeah.
I mean, this is tough because Goddard's going to get a lot of volume. But I think I'd go with the non-tight end, especially a guy that did pretty well, last week. So it's not like he didn't break out of his slump. He did. What did he have? He had a touch and.
He was 10 catches for 170 yards.
Yeah, 10 for 107.
170.
170. Yeah, that's right. No touchdowns, right? Okay, yeah, that was what it was. Yeah, what a day! What a day! I mean, even an understated day. Like when you look at it, like I thought he had. When you said 107, I was like, what? Didn't he have? No, he had two touchdowns, bro.
He had two touchdowns?
You're talking about Amari Cooper, right?
No, talking about Dallas Goddard.
No, Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper had 2 touchdowns versus the Giants.
That's what I just said. I'm saying he got on a groove. He had 7 for 86 and 2 TDs.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, Amari went off. That's what I'm saying. You were saying he had 107. No, I'm talking about Amari. Amari had a good day. He's a wide receiver. He's not a tight end. That's unbelievable. I knew he had the 1 TD. That's why I was questioning when you said that. You thought I was talking about Goddard, but I was like, right. he had 1 TD, and that's what I'm thinking. Like, and then I pull it up, and I'm like, I don't even remember the second score, to be honest with you. I don't think you can sit Amari after that game. Goddard's going to be like this, but he's going to be leaned on heavily. Goddard's a fantastic play. That was one of my top 4 go-get tight ends before the season began. And he absolutely exploded. He's the tight end 1 in fantasy, but I'm not starting the tight end 1 in fantasy in a weak tight end pool of players right now to sit a guy that just got two scores on the bench in Amari. Amari had a nice day, man. 7, 86, and 2. I thought it was 7 when you said 100, whatever, you're talking about Goddard. But when you said 100, I'm like, I didn't think he had 100 yards. But I knew he had a touchdown. And I look at it, pull up the log, 786 and 2. That's just such a day. He was wide receiver. I can't believe that was only a wide receiver 5, though. It seems like it's wide receiver 2 material. Go.
It was 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Go Amari, bro. Go Amari. All right, later, John.
Have a good night.
Yeah. All right, I can't trust John though when I ask him what did Amari do. John giving me the wrong info. He's like Ziggy. Let's see if Ziggy knows. Ziggy, what stats did Amari Cooper have in week number 3?
From fantasypros.com, Amari Cooper caught 7 of his 11 targets for 101 yards and a touchdown in a 29.
Wait, what? Why am I getting different stats here? Travis, what are you showing for Amari Cooper's stats?
Let's see, I got
Ziggy, volume 10.
7 for 86 with 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
Against the Giants.
Yeah. Okay. It's weird because I'm getting different stats from different places, and then he's giving me different stats. Okay. Anyway. All right. What can I do for you, Travis? And then rock out.
With Olave, they're at a. Is it like a true game time decision? Is that what I'm seeing on Olave?
Yes. Game time decision.
So, would you go with, if he plays, would you play him, or would you hold off and play Calvin Ridley? I don't know, Brent Ridley.
I'm playing Olave. If Olave's playing, I'm playing Olave.
Okay. And then on the K9 front, are you still going Worthy over K9 and avoiding that, or?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not sitting Worthy, bro. I'm and I'm not even like saying that like this is the last chance for this type of stance or anything either. I know a lot of people are like, you're gonna do it one more time. I'm not doing it one more. I'll do it another time. I know Worthy's gonna take some time. This is it may be the amount of time he needed was already the 2 weeks, but this is a player. Just like I stood my ground on Jamar Chase his rookie year when he went through a big slump. And I'm not saying that Worthy won't go through a rookie wall slump, but there's a chance he doesn't hit his rookie wall because he's not being overworked in the beginning part of the year too. This could be his like replacement of a rookie wall. But people are so fickle, and not suggesting you or anybody else necessarily that can chat live right now or anything, but
I get what you're saying.
Are so fickle with like they don't get what they expect to get, and you got it in week 1. That's the part that's head scratching to me. Like I get the Dell take. People want to run away from Dell, which I don't care. I'm still picking up Dell if he gets dropped. I'm still trading for him on the low. I love Tank Dell. At some point, Tank Dell is gonna pop, and I'm gonna have him, and I'm gonna be laughing my rear end off. And if I lose on that one, if I lose that battle, I'm going to lose some battles. Maybe that will be it, but I don't believe it will be. I'll lose a lot of battles. No way I'm going to be 100% right. But this isn't me digging my heels in on Tank Dell. This is me looking at the situation and going, I just can't believe people are just abandoning Tank Dell. They're box score bobbies though, because if you watch the games, you know it's not the case. But in the case of Worthy, it's not like Dell's situation where it's 3 weeks of nothing, and you're worried about what's going on. And Dell had a pretty decent week 3, I might add,
right?
Considering.
Mm-hmm.
But Worthy scored 2 touchdowns in week 1. We all got a dose of what it is. He was remarkable in week 1. He was remarkable. He wasn't good. He wasn't pretty good. He was remarkable. And he's only had 2 other games since, and he's already written off. I am going to continue to ride this train because the moment you sit it, it's going to go crazy. The moment you sit the situation, it's going to blow up, and it's going to be like Ridley in a way. How last year you sat him, you do well. start him, he'd do bad. I'm not saying he does that all year, but I'm saying it's going to happen. People are going to sit him, and then they're going to hate Worthy. They're going to hate him. They're going to be like, damn it. He finally broke out, and I didn't even get the points. Like, now he drives me nuts. Not me.
Yeah, my question was mostly because, like, if Walker hadn't been injured and he was playing well, like, personally, I would have started Walker over Worthy in the flex, but because he's got this injury thing with it up in the air,
yeah,
you know, I guess he could play. He could come out after 2 plays. So
yeah,
that was more my question. Like,
if he
more
was
than anything, are you avoiding that situation? If you even if it's, you know, Worthy or a good option, are you just avoiding that situation?
Case by case, my man. Case by case. I can't answer that in a blanket way. If you've got Worthy, I start Worthy. You've got an injured Deontay Johnson who's also injured. I'm starting Kenneth Walker, who's no longer deemed injured. If it's Dallas Goedert as a flex play, like the previous caller, I'm starting Kenneth Walker. You know, but it's all case by case. Okay. But Worthy is an absolute gem to me. He's not even a good play. He's a great play. Like, to me, he's a great play. And I don't care if that falls on his face this week. I'm still doubling down next week. I'll double down the next week. I'll double down the next week. And you could say, Smitty, you're going to lose this battle. I could care less. I was told that over and over and over last year with Gibbs. I was told that over and over and over with Jordan Love. I was told that over and over with something that I missed. That happened too. Not saying I land everything. There were tons of times I doubled down. It didn't work. Injury struck, etc. Doubled down on Javonte, tore his ACL. You know, doubled down on Breece Hall, tore his ACL. You know, like, or we went all, I wouldn't say we doubled down. We went all in on the injuries happen. Sometimes Cooper Kupp going to be a top 5 wide receiver. Damn, Cooper Kupp might have been a top 2 wide receiver. He gets injured. He's older. It was part of the equation, part of the risk assessment, but he got injured. That one looks wrong now, even though we were freaking crushing it. Deebo Samuel, there's always risk of injury with Deebo, so that was in the package, right? But Deebo and Kupp, had Deebo and Kupp not got hurt, we'd be flying high, like at what would feel something to the tune of like an 80% rate. It would feel through the first 3 weeks of football in terms of bigger predictions. But injuries happen, slumps happen, down weeks happen, busts happen. I don't feel like Worthy's that bust at all. I think he's going to explode.
Yeah. And another good point, I've seen a couple of people make it in the chat actually too, is that Detroit has been really good against the run. So, I mean, not many. I think Tyron is the best at like 18 for 50 or something like that.
Yeah.
So Detroit's got a tough run defense on top of it. So.
Yeah.
And just the one other thing, I didn't realize Rappaport said that like an hour ago that Kamara and Olave are like expected to play. It's not official, but it doesn't sound as much of a game time decision anymore. So
yeah,
I guess that kind of answers the question.
Yeah, we'll see. Definitely see tomorrow. A lot of these guys need to go out and test the hamstring, test the calf, test the groin. Right. But 1 hour ago, it looks like Rappaport did say Kamara hit, but we knew Kamara was good to go already. But the Olave situation, both whom are questionable, are expected to play. Let's just see Olave go out there and warm up. Make sure you watch that. Make sure you hear that Olave is good to go, active, ready to rumble. Gabe Davis' shoulder is listed as questionable. Should be able to play. It's funny because all these reports say should be able to play today. Like in Arizona time is 10:56 p.m. But it's weird when you're like, okay, I still got to go 12,000 steps, and we're already hearing like he's playing today. Like I'm getting no sleep tonight, am I? And I'm not. I don't wake up for the kickoff of the London game or anything like that. That's just I can't do that. All right, Travis. Anything else?
Just going to see a lot of people asking, are there any tight ends you're starting over Goddard this week with the volume he should get? Like, would you start Kincaid over Goddard?
Probably not. I mean, Goddard is definitely with the down wide receivers. He's probably like one of the top plays. But I still think Kincaid's a top 5 or 6 play. It just so happens Goddard right now is a top 5 play.
Sure. Yeah.
So
I just saw a lot of people asking Goddard for assist guy, Goddard for a sack guy. So I figured I'd get your input on that. So All right. Thanks, Smitty. Appreciate
All right,
it.
later, Travis. Appreciate you. Rock out. You're live.
Bye.
Hello.
So Deebo probably playing, so you probably don't play Jennings.
Yeah, so we talked about this a couple times, and for anybody that missed it, if Deebo is deemed decoy material or going to be on a major snap count, like if we hear something about like he could be on a little bit of an account, like I don't know that I'm not terrified of it, and I would play Deebo over Jennings, and Jennings would become a little bit of a risky play across other scenarios. Like maybe I do play Walker in that scenario. Play Walker over Jennings if Deebo's a full go. If Deebo's a decoy or thought to have a major snap count, which is hard to kind of imagine and pretty easy to imagine. We've seen it 100 times both directions, but Deebo plays such a different role. Like I can't imagine. It would have to be a total like practice geared move. Like we're trying to trip the Patriots up so they're practicing for Deebo, and they don't face him, and they're making the defense spread out their attention all week. You know what I mean? Like or tonight, tomorrow, whatever. But I think because there's very little time to even react, I don't know that they would have released this information. I think like Thursday instead of tonight. You know what I mean? So it makes me feel like Deebo is not going to be a decoy because, not just being stated to be playing to confuse the defense because they don't have enough time to even really confuse anything. I don't know. I'd probably just say at the end of the day, if Deebo's playing and you think he's playing a lot, then Jennings becomes a questionable play. A decent wide receiver 3 in dire situations, but he's no longer locked. If Deebo looks limited, then Jennings is kind of a locked-in wide receiver 3 with big upside.
If Deebo play, would you play Atwell or Jennings? It's like a deep league.
If Deebo's going to play a lot, I'd play Jennings over to Atwell, but I think it's close. I could go either way. Like I'd almost say trust your gut on that one.
Like long term, do you like Lazard or Michael Wilson?
Lazard or Michael Wilson? Give me Lazard. I mean, he just keeps doing it, man. It's more like Aaron Rodgers keeps doing it. Hey, Lazard, here. Hey, Lazard, here. Lazard's like, he's like that picture of what's his name from The Office. What's the actor's name from The Office? The main actor. I keep yeah, it's like that photo of him when he's got like the mullet and he's shaking the guy's hand surprised, and it's a meme people use when like Bill from accounting gets a raise for doing something he didn't even know he did. He's like shaking the hand. I almost feel like that's Lazard in the end zone. Just the meme. I don't know, but Lazard's doing it. I definitely think that Lazard's a good play. I mean, he's a top like 15 wide receiver, isn't he? Top 15 to 20.
Yeah. What do you think about having Commander's number 2 receiver that hasn't been really developed yet?
I think it'll be Luke McCaffrey, probably. Steve Carell. That's right. Thank you. I think it'll probably be Luke McCaffrey. I don't know. He looks like they want him. They want him to be the guy, I think. All right. Rock out. Appreciate you, bro. Later. Let me get this last phone call, and then I'm got to get back to the super chats as I've got a bunch on screen I got to take care of. Eric, you're live.
Thanks, Smitty. Hey, Smitty, so I have a question. Once Dell goes off, and we all know he will, who's the better wide receiver, him or Worthy?
Worthy, I think. I want Worthy now, obviously, because Dell's injured, and I want Worthy long term. I think Worthy is a league winner.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, last year, Dell was absolutely electrifying. Like the only thing that stopped him was the injury. And you were saying this earlier. You're like, it's so funny how quickly people forget. Like people forget what Dell did. Dell like just looked like a league winner last year.
Yeah, it's also wild that people don't. They're they're proving they didn't watch the game. They have no knowledge of what happened in week 1, week 2, and week 3. Because they're looking at a box. That's why I make the box score Bobby video. Is a box score Bobby thinks that Dell didn't do anything in week 1. Like he did. It's just Stroud missed him on a touchdown. He overthrew him on a wide open touchdown. And then in week 2, Stroud underthrew Dell on a touchdown strike. And in week number 3, it was the Minnesota Vikings who put clamps on Stroud, and Dell still had 5 for like 60. He had like 11 points or something. He had 5 for like 60 yards. He had 5 receptions for 60 yards or something like that. That was week 3. Yeah. In a game where Stroud was completely, put on ice practically. I don't understand how people think Dell, and then he gets hurt, which is the worst timing for this argument. But I don't care about the argument. If anything, it makes him cheaper, or he gets dropped in a lot of leagues. Check your waiver wire. And then, week 6, 7, I mean, even if it takes till week 8, I'm patient with it because I can put him on my bench. But I have no doubt that at some point, and then we're going to get the, he got Lucky Williams that are going to come in and say when Diggs gets injured or something at some point because he's older. Be like, that's part of the equation. So
he looked unstoppable. Like, absolutely, like they couldn't guard him.
You can't guard Dell. It's funny how a forgetful Freddie is going to not understand that. That's fine. I could care less. It's the same talk we had.
At the end of the year. Sorry, I was just going to say at the end of the year, who do you think are the top 3 wide receivers?
All right, last question. I got to go. End of the year. It's a great question.
Or maybe top 5.
Yeah, end of the year. Wow. I'm going to say, I don't really know if I have a particular order yet, but I'm going to say Lamb.
I feel like Neighbors sneaks in.
Yeah, I think he does. Lamb, JJ, Nico, Jamar Chase, and I think Neighbors and Jeff and MHJ are in the 5, 6, 7 area.
Yeah, it'll be a toss up between
Rice as well. Rice, Neighbors, and MHJ are all right around 5, 6, 7. It's tough to say. It's tough to say.
And I think Dell is definitely in the top 10.
All right, got to go, bro. Appreciate you. Later. Mars Man, rock out. Final thought, and I got to roll.
Yeah, what would you do if you got T. Higgins and Yoshi Vosh?
T. Higgins. You can't sit T. Higgins over Yoshi Voss right now. I don't think so.
Would you try to trade Yoshi Vosh? Or
Sure, but I don't think anybody's going to buy him now. I don't know.
Maybe if I could attach him to Stevenson if he has a good game.
Sure. You can trade him. Do it. Do it live.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, you could go Stevenson and Yoshi Voss for like. Let's see, RB. I mean, maybe a Kamara on the low, maybe a Monty.
You like ETN?
Monty ETN. Yeah, that's probably the players I would do it for. Jacobs, maybe. All right, bro.
Yeah, I was thinking about.
Anything else, rock out? We were thinking about what?
Yeah, I was thinking about trading Kenneth Walker for Jacobs, but I'm not sure.
I could get on either side of that, honestly.
I just think Walker has a little bit more upside.
He does.
Hurt. That's my only hold up.
Yeah, he does have a little more appeal, but Jacobs is like a little more steady feeling. But then you got Emmanuel getting some work, and I don't know. I'd probably say give me Walker, but damn, he's been disappointing for a couple years now. I love Walker. I'm rooting for him. I hope he stays healthy. It's frustrating to watch Charbonnet do what Charbonnet's done and just know that Walker would have done every single bit, if not more. And it's just frustrating. It's so damn frustrating to
Would
watch
have
that.
been, it would have been like top 6 guys, top 5 guys.
Yeah, Walker would easily be in the top 6 running backs. All right, bro. I got to roll. Appreciate you, bro. Later. Rick, you got 20 seconds. That's it. Oh, Rick. Sorry, Rick. All right, phone lines are closed. Appreciate you all. JD5 for Saquon. Who wins the trade? I'm going to say in Superflex, I imagine Anti-Slayer. I can't imagine that you're asking me this question in a non-Superflex, bro. So you didn't clarify on that. But I would say if it's Superflex, Saquon still feels like maybe the winner. In non-Superflex, come on. That's a silly question. But it also is something that if you have vetoes in your league, that thing gets vetoed immediately. And I hope you don't have vetoes in your league. I hate vetoes. Thank you, Superfish, for the $5 hauler. And we got Bruce with the $2 hauler. Bruce, appreciate you. David, appreciate you. CD, Cup, Deebo, Nico, Worthy, Najee, B-Rob, Braylon Allen was offered my cup and Najee for Mike Evans. I'd honestly take Mike Evans, bro, because you got the now value in that. Cup won't be back to like week 7 or week 8. So I think you got to take this trade. Also, trade Deebo for Jacobs or K9. Deebo, I mean, he's back, though. You know, he's back now. I'm assuming you're okay at RB. I don't think you are. So you'd have Evans and Nico and Worthy, and you'd have no RB. So you'd have to get Jacobs. I would go get Jacobs for Deebo then. But try and get something back, because I feel like Deebo's got a little more value. Pearsall once fully healthy. On Ryan Pearsall, you mean Ricky Pearsall? No, I'm not high on him right now in this situation, bro. If somebody got hurt, sure. But Deebo's on his way back. Hurts or JD5? I'm going to go JD5. Goddard or Laporta. Coming off the injury, I'm going to go Goddard by a hair. But I love Laporta. I love buying low on Laporta. Really asking for a friend, says Superfish. Superfish, thank you very much. Love or Goff? Probably Goff this week. I hate saying that. But the Minnesota Vikings are nasty. And flex Naylor or Ladd. I'd probably go Naylor this week. He scored a touchdown in each of the first 3 weeks of the season. Drop one for waivers. Braylon Allen, Garendo, or Irving. I'm going to drop probably Irving. I hate to do it. I hate to do it, Cody. Jeez. But I can't drop either one of the other guys. So no go on Fields over Hurts. So bench Leggett for Dotson. Thomas, did I already answer this? It sounds like you're asking me to double stamp a triple stamp here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and okay, Thomas. Go Hurts over Fields. Or maybe this is a separate question, but it sounds like when I asked Miss Smitty about the expiration date, hey, is this roast beef good? She's like, well, what's the expiration date say? Well, it says it's good. Okay. But can you just tell me, is it good? Am I going to get sick if I eat it? Well, you just told me it was good. True. So I can eat it? Leggett, Dotson. So I'm going to go Leggett over Dotson 100% on the bench. And then I'm starting Hurts over Fields. I'm not going there Fields when I've got Hurts on in my lineup. And I know Hurts is down bad wide receivers, but I'm still not running from that. Jacobs, Worthy, Garrett Wilson, or JSN. I'm going to go probably Jacobs. Oh, man, this is your flex. You go 1? I mean, Worthy's your high-risk, high-reward play. Garrett Wilson, a little bit more steady Eddie. I guess I would say Garrett Wilson for safety. But, like, I want Worthy in the lineup. In Vegas, you need to make some trades. I think this is the second time I've told you that. You can't have those. You're going to get those options wrong every week. I'm going to get them wrong for you every week. We need to make some trades and consolidate. 10 starters plus team defense, 10-man league. Do I start Demarcus Robinson or Bucky? I'd probably go Bucky as long as everything continues to stay solid and he's expected to play. Just make sure he's not on a snap count. Let's see here. Akers or Jennings. I'm going to probably go Jennings. I mean, Deebo full go would affect that a little bit, but I might still lean that way. Start Anthony Richardson or Fields. I'm going Anthony Richardson. Hill, Brooks, or Gibbs, Deebo. So Tyreek Hill and Brooks or Gibbs, Deebo. Give me Gibbs, Deebo all day long, Dave. Easy question. Mahomes or JD5. I'm going to go Mahomes. I love both, though. I love both. If I had both in side-by-side leagues, I'd go one and one in the other. And Kelsey or Kittle, I go Kelsey personally, but that one's pretty close too. I could almost do the same thing in that one. And then Vegas, one more, says drop Muth for Keenan Allen. I'd probably rather have Keenan Allen. Leggett or Addison, I'd rather have Leggett for the long term, but not this week, but put him on the bench. Definitely. All right, a couple more phone calls.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Call into the attic.shop phone line. Make sure you get on over to the attic, my people. Superfish, Smitty missed the first part. Chuba or Rome? I'm sorry, Superfish. Thank you for repeating it, though. Chuba. A little bit safer this week, but I do like both options. Both options are pretty solid for sure. And then Jared, appreciate you. Cup, Steele, Mostert, or Tyreek Hill? No, that's got to be Taysom Hill. That's got to be Taysom Hill. Cup, Steele, Mostert, or Taysom Hill. Oh, no, this has got to be Tyreek Hill in a trade. Okay, Cup, Steele, Mostert. So I'm going to go Tyreek Hill, Benson. I'm going to go Tyreek Hill side. Mostly because, bro, Cup is not coming back for weeks. Like, he's a great buy low maybe a week from now, maybe 2 weeks from now. But you're going to be sitting there taking L's and Tyreek Hill's playing. So easy call, easy call. And last super chat, then I'm going to hit the phone line. I'm going to go to Joe first. Everybody please mute unless you're Joe. And I'm loading up for wide receiver. Made 3 trades this season. Nice job, Vegas. But you load up, you're going to get them wrong every week. So you got to consolidate, make your decision a little easier and upgrade. Joe, you're live. Quick as you can, Joe. No full team assessment. Just give me a short and sweet question.
All right. You said you're starting AR5 over Fields?
Well, yeah. I mean, AR5 is got more upside. There's a lot of risk, but it's not like Fields is blowing up, the stat sheet, bro. But I like him. He's winning. He's been exciting for the team.
Okay.
But I mean, it's not like he's having like an amazing. He's like QB 20, QB 19, QB 20, and for me, AR5's capable. I don't care how bad he looks throwing the ball. Josh Allen looked horrible throwing the ball as a rookie. I'm not all that concerned about it. I just need them to start running him, which I think Shane Steichen will start implementing. So he gets 2 touchdowns on the ground. That'll open up the pass, and he'll start looking a little better. And we know that look. You know what's funny is everybody thinks he's garbage, and I get he's looked very inaccurate, but we've also seen him throw amazing passes. So I think Fickle Freddy's, anybody who wants to say he's absolutely atrocious, he can't throw the football for anything, he can't read a defense for anything, it's not true. He's just not processing everything in every scenario very quickly, and defensive scheming can get the better of him right now as he's learning the game of football, and he's still essentially in his rookie year because he only played 2 full games last year, and he's essentially going through his rookie year right now. He's a rookie to me. And the fact that people act like he is not capable of being what he was able to do 2 weeks last year, where he's a top 4 quarterback, comes into week 1 as a top 4 quarterback again, which is a lot of momentum when you think about it. Okay, he played 2 games in 2023. He was a top 4 quarterback in both games. Played 2 full games. Comes in right out of the gate. He's a top 4 quarterback. Well, that sounds like a pattern to me. And he comes out and absolutely looks awful in 2 games, which I get. It makes us concerned. But we've also thrown that one football where he's off his back leg and he threw it 60 yards downfield. It was an unbelievable throw. We've seen him be able to throw the football. I'm not benching him.
Yeah, just chuck it.
Yeah, I'm not benching him for plays like Fields, who don't score touchdowns necessarily. I like Fields. There's certainly a lot of upside, but it's just wild to me.
And it kind of almost feels like I know you're quick, but it almost feels like a trap game too. Like Pittsburgh's got to shit the bed one of these games, right?
Yeah. And on top of that, like, you know, it's again Fields not scoring touchdowns. I don't mind. Like, could Fields be in this game? They're playing each other. Could Fields be a safer play? Sure. You know, and you look at Fields, he's been QB 19, QB 24, and QB 12. That's not horrible. You know, he's safe-ish. But would I take the upside in AR5? I would.
Okay, right on.
But
one more quick one, sorry.
Could be wrong on it, but go ahead.
Olave or Amari Cooper? I was going Olave, but then you looked up the Amari Cooper stats, and even I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I forgot he had 2 touchdowns. I literally forgot.
He had like 28 points last week.
It was only QB5 or wide receiver 5. Or was it wide receiver 5? It's crazy. He wasn't like wide receiver 2 or 3.
Yeah, because he didn't get the yardage.
I mean, 80-something yards still good. 87. I'd probably say I think Amari's earned the start, but it's really close, bro.
Okay, right on.
It's really close. Trust your gut on it. If your gut's saying, I would go Amari, though. Especially, you said Olave, right? Olave's banged up. We don't really know if he's going to, like, come out of the game.
They just put a report out on him like an hour ago.
I know.
That he's good to go.
Yeah, well, they expect him to play. They expect him to. He's expected to play. That means he's still got to go out there and warm up. It isn't like they said, oh, my God, the injury's gone. You know, like he's expected to play. Just like Deebo. He's expected to play. Both of them could walk out, warm up, and say, never mind. So we gotta be careful. Give me Cooper. All right, gotta go, bro. Appreciate you.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, cheers.
Rick, you got 20 seconds for real. For real. Go.
Okay, yeah, I got a quick one. What do you think about Darnold tomorrow? 1 or 2 touchdowns against the Packers.
I think he could. I think he doesn't feel like a lock for 3 or anything like that. But I think that he feels like a steady Eddie 2 touchdown guy. I know he had a big game last week, but yeah, it's a good play. He's a good play, very good matchup, good play. But if you've got like a Stroud or something, I'm still going Stroud. You know. All right.
Okay, one more. Bang, bang.
Hurry.
You think Deontay Johnson gets over like 8-9 targets tomorrow?
All right, good question. Listen offline. Deontay, he's banged up. I don't know. I'm gonna say until I know that Deontay's like good to go, I'm not sure what to predict for him. And I think predicting him to have a big day when he's banged up and questionable is tough for me. Should he play? I think so. But I'd say like I'd give him like 10 points. I'd give him 10 points. 10 to 12 points for Deontay. All right, Chris from Indy, you're live. 30 seconds, bro.
All right, brother. I've been the invisible man. I've been on the line for like 45 minutes, but I don't think you could see that I was on the line. I'm in some trouble. I'm 0-3. I really need your help. Find what I can do with this team to turn this thing around. My squad is really good, but I'm 0-3. So, if you have the time for me to read off my team,
real quickly, bro, because like I said, I got to give everybody 30 seconds here. I don't have you on the phone line, so I don't know how that's possible. Because I was
on for like 40. I was the invisible man.
I don't know how that's possible because I didn't add you. It's possible I added you, ended the call, and you sat in like some sort of like second call purgatory or whatever, and like you got hung up on, but you stayed there. I don't know. As quick as you can, bro. Don't give me your whole team. Just give me your lineup real quickly, and I'll try and help you. But I need to move forward.
Okay. Right on. Mahomes, Breece Hall, Jordan Mason, Chris Godwin, CeeDee Lamb, Likely, Neighbors.
Okay. So what's your question?
Allen. Well, my question is I'm 0-3, and
jeez.
I just would like for you to look at my team and say this is what you need to try to do.
Hold is what you need to do. Hold. There's nothing wrong with this team. This team is balling out. You've played the highest scoring player in each week is what's happened. You know, I mean, there's no way. Likely went off in week 1. Neighbors has been going off all year. Hall's been very steady. Mason's been good. Godwin's been exploding. Lamb took some time but did well last week. Mahomes has been QB 7-ish. Obviously, I don't know. You've been going up against some tough opponents. People have been scoring high. I would sit tight on this. There's no reason to divide and conquer. Is this your entire lineup right here, or do you have one more flex spot?
No, that's my entire.
Yeah.
lineup.
So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna trade? I like this team a lot.
Right.
I'm not moving it.
Well, I have probably too many running backs, but I got Braylon Allen, Ford, Moss, and White.
Trade. Some people might disagree with this, but trade Godwin on the high with like a Ford or player, any player you can, to get Nico, to get MHJ. I think Godwin's
Deontay Johnson and Waddle on my bench.
I would trade. You have Waddle on the bench, bro. You just forgot that one. Trade Waddle and Godwin. Yeah, I know, but you were listing other players. Like Waddle's great. I'm not saying he's in the best situation, but that's a great bench player. So Waddle and Godwin, or Ford and Godwin, trying to upgrade Godwin. Even though Godwin's balling out, I get it, but I'm selling high on that every single time. I don't. If you can, guess what? If he continues to do it, yeah, I'd take Rice in a heartbeat. If he continues to do it, I don't know if I give Waddle and Godwin for Rice, but I do like the Godwin and Ford, Godwin and whatever. Deontay and Godwin, sure. But if I end up being wrong and Godwin continues, you're buying low on a player that's going to score just as much of them, if not better. And I'm going to be right even if I'm wrong. This is that kind of trade. You're making that kind of move. All right, got to go, bro. Mm-hmm. So tear it up. You got it.
Right on.
And then John from Utah, you got 30 seconds. That's it. I even got the timer on. I'm hitting the end button. You better get it all out in time. Go, bro. Live. Go.
I'll make it quick. Are you starting Stroud or JD5?
Stroud or AR5? Stroud.
No, JD5, sorry.
Oh, JD5. Whew. Chat, can we vote on this one? Stroud or JD5? I think with Nico, with the Jaguars matchup is fantastic. So Stroud, I think this is a get-right game for Stroud. I think my gut tells me that this is going to be a 3 or 4 TD game for Stroud. This is still a very strong play, JD5, against the Cardinals defense. The whole chat saying JD5, but we're such a JD5 community. I don't know. I guess you could say this. My guts tell me Stroud's gonna blow up. It's gonna blow up.
So would you take the over on the prop?
The over on what?
Like Stroud's TDs. I'm assuming it's at the 1.5.
1.5. Yeah, definitely take the over on that. This is a tough one, bro. This is a tough one. I know everyone's going to want to say JD5, and I feel like I built this JD5 community from the ground up. So I feel like you can't lose here. These are two amazing plays this week. And there's something to the fact that Stroud hasn't really done what he's supposed to do yet. So maybe you go JD5, because this guy's doing it now. This guy hasn't been. But I really believe this will be a get-right game for the Texans. I believe they're not only going to try and win this game, but they're going to try and get their offense fine-tuned. I think the same thing happens with the KC Chiefs against the beat-up Chargers. I know people are going to be like, oh, they just want to get out with the win. They'll just run once they get up a little bit. I really think that these teams want to see, how do we get things back to where they need to be? And Stroud's going to throw a missile to Nico in the end zone, throw a missile to Diggs, or a short touchdown to Diggs. I think that Stroud has 2 TDs easily. JD5 is getting into his bag. There could still be a little bit of a dip here or there for JD5 as he's a rookie, as we expect him to be great from now on, from here until the end of the season. The reason I'm a little worried about him not being great every game is people will jump off the train as quickly as they jumped on, but that's fine. We'll be here to laugh in their face when JD5 jumps back. But this is one of those situations where you just got to go with your gut on this one, bro. It's dead even for me. The chat is leaning heavily JD5. The momentum's leading JD5. but I believe there's a lot of value in both of them this week, and you really can't go wrong. This might be one of those things where they both score 30 points, bro. So trust your gut. I got to roll. Appreciate you. The chat voted JD5. So, you can go with the chat, or you can say, this is something I would divide it. If I had one in one league and one in another, I would literally start Stroud in one and JD5 in the other. Not to give you a wishy-washy answer, but I love both of them. I can't, for the life of me, tell you to sit one. I just can't do it. I don't know. It's like telling somebody to pick kids. It was your favorite kid. You can't do it. I don't know. It's a tough one. I do think Stroud's in a get-right game. And I think that he ends up getting in his bag, playing the Jaguars, and just demolishes them. Full PPR, Likely or Kyle Pitts. I'm gonna go. I guess Kyle Pitts for now, but I do believe Likely gets back on his horse eventually, especially if Andrews gets banged up and can't stay healthy. Jennings, Brian Thomas Jr., Christian Watson, pick 2. I'm gonna go Jennings and BT for right now, especially with the matchup for Minnesota. Green Bay's matchup. Gainwell or Shipley? Shipley. But, I mean, who knows once or if, knock on wood, that moment ever comes. Smitty, you ruined me. The trolls are crazy. Yeah, I don't know if someone's saying that. Who said that you ruined me? Is that something somebody said? I know people DM me that every day. Smitty, you ruined my fantasy season. You screwed me, Smitty. like I can't help you picked of the little losers that we have. We're gonna always lose on stuff. I'm not gonna land everything. I can't help that you picked all of those guys out of and didn't pick any of my winners. It's not my fault. Got offered Waddle for my Puka. I would take Waddle now because Puka's out for such an amount of time. And Bass, given that you're 0-3, you need to go Waddle. Got married tonight and had to check in. Attaboy, Ethan. That's how we roll. All right. How are we feeling about Jacobs against the Vikings with Love back? I think he's going to be really good in this game, Ethan. It depends on your option, though. But I would definitely start Jacobs with authority this week today, because they're going to be grounding and pounding as they try and keep Love upright and try and really attack the Minnesota defense differently than they're smart. This Green Bay coaching staff knows what the hell they're doing, bro. Smitty at wide receiver 2. I have Pickens at the moment. Should I start Worthy instead? Yes, I would. In the flex, I have K9. Do I bench him for one of the wide receivers? I'd probably go K9 unless news breaks that feels bad about K9's workload, or he's going to have a 50% workload as they ease him back into it. I would go Worthy in K9 personally. But that's me. I'm a wild man. That's the way I roll. If Stroud's a get-right game, Akers should be a good flex play with no Mixon and Pierce, right? Yeah, I think he probably will be. I could see Akers scoring a touchdown in this game. I could. Geno, AR5. I'm going to go probably Geno for safety, AR5 for high risk, high reward. There's just no real answer. You got to look at your matchup and say, do I need the risk? Do I need the safety? Muth or Schultz, give me Schultz. And flex, Najee, Moss, or Akers. I probably lean Moss by a hair, just for the guaranteed volume that does seem to be there for him. Appreciate you for the super chats, all my people. And if I missed any, please leave it in the comments. I will be looking to the comments. Don't fake it or I won't answer your question, and I'll hold it against your next question. But if I missed a super chat, please let me know in the comments, not the live chat, but in the comments of the video, and put a bunch of like cell phone emojis or something or dollar emojis that you dropped a super chat and missed it. I will see you guys all tomorrow morning. We'll be live about an hour and a half before kickoff. This $20 hauler from Loso on the way out the door. Appreciate this, Loso. Also, subscribe. We're literally knocking on the door of 30K. We're right around, I would say, 210 or so subscribers away from 30K, so you could help be a part of that. I'll even acknowledge as I see them come in, and thank you for hitting the subscribe button. If anybody's watching that hasn't subscribed, just punch that subscribe button. I promise you'll love this channel, and it'll be your main source for news. We go live whenever big news breaks. I go live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Go live every time after morning and afternoon games. I go live after Thursday night game. I go live after the Monday night game. I go live after the Sunday night game. I also go live a lot of midnights, and I go live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. every single Monday through Friday. Thank you for those 2 subscribes. Starting Achane, starting Pollard at running back 2, starting Brian Robinson at flex. Should I sit Brian Robinson Jr. and start Worthy? I would start Worthy over Pollard. I would start Brian Robinson Jr. in place of Pollard, and I don't trust Pollard. Does the chat agree? Pollard or Worthy or Pollard? I don't think we sit Brian Robinson Jr. though. So chat, can you vote Pollard or Worthy? Also starting Lamar, MHJ, Amon-Ra. Should I go Gesicki or Schultz? I'd go Schultz in the get-right game. But Gesicki's not a bad play. I go Schultz in the get-right game. Make sure there's no news in the morning. We'll have it here on the channel that Schultz is, going to play hampered or something because the guy's kind of injured a lot. Vote in the chat, Pollard or Worthy. Man, this chat is against Worthy. This chat is against Worthy. This chat is against Worthy and Stroud, I might add. This is a lot of Pollard votes. Oh, man, I don't know why. I am definitely not on the Pollard train right now. Mainly because twofold. He's got competition. He's also, he's looked decent, at times. Last week he was putrid. And it's a good matchup for the most part, but I also don't know that I trust the Tennessee Titans at all. Give me Worthy. Give me Worthy. I'm so surprised we got Pollard as a majority vote. We got gifted memberships rolling in. Hoosiers becoming a gifted member. Sunglasses at night because sun don't set on a badass, says Hoosiers. Hoosiers, thank you. Appreciate you. I don't know why we're getting Pollard votes over Worthy. I really don't understand it. Have I taught you nothing? I'll see you all tomorrow morning, about an hour before kickoff. This is the final super chat of the night. This one from Mr. R. David. I was able to get Mahomes and Garrett Wilson for JD5 and B-Rob. I think that's good. Team is now Mahomes, AR5, MHJ, DK, Garrett Wilson, Deontay, Terry. I like it. Stand pat or make any moves. I like this squad. I'd maybe be tempted to trade like a Singletary and Deontay now before kickoff, obviously. I like McBride, keep him. Garendo, Mason, keep that. I like the squad a lot. But I'd be tempted to throw Scary Terry around. Scary Terry around with maybe Deontay, with maybe Singletary. Try and get into a buy low situation. You could also maybe potentially look to upgrade. Yeah, so Scary Terry, Deontay, Singletary, Scary Terry. Who could you get? Scary Terry and Deontay. Scary Terry, Singletary. ETN. Jacobs. Evans. Tyreek Hill. Those are my targets for you. All pretty undervalued, my guy. Not an impossible mission for you. I'll see you all tomorrow about an hour and a half before kickoff. No, not the London game. Always the main slate of morning games. Hour and a half, roughly, before kickoff. See you all there. Appreciate all my moderators. Appreciate all of you. You guys absolutely rock. Please subscribe on the way out the door. Again, we're on our way to 30K, 30,000 subscribers. Hit the like button on the way out the door. We only have 274 thumbs up, but 800 to 900 people are watching right this second with only 275 thumbs up. Do your boy Smitty a solid and just hit that like button, at least on the way out the door. It really helps the channel. And what helps the channel, I promise you, will help you. In giveaways, and we'll have so many more giveaways in 2025. Like signed jerseys, I'm just giving away left and right. Helmets, things like that. But I need your help by making the channel grow at an even more rapid pace. See you all in the morning. Masonites unite.
Well, no going back now. You sure you want to do this, Kyle? Yeah, we have to.
Let's go. Start the procedure.
Masonites assemble.
All right, prepare for take one. All right, action.
He's a box score, Bobby. He's a little sloppy. Box score, Bobby. He's a box score, Bobby. He's so sloppy. Bobby. He's Kyron, he's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyron, he can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
Hey Chan. Hey Chan is the man. His haters call him small.
But he is 9 feet tall.
Hey Chan is the man.
But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs' workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top.
Breece Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the third, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
He's Breece. He's Breece.
He does a hull of a job. A hull of a job. A hull of a job.
Breece Hall, please report to the moon.
He does a jale of a job.
All right, boys. See you all later. Appreciate you. Thanks, Chris, for the celebratory message. Appreciate you. Andre with the celebratory message. Deebo or McLaurin. I'm going to go McLaurin for safety unless we feel like there's no snap count situation. Andre, appreciate you. Thomas says traded Ridley and Mooney this morning for Deebo. That's a fantastic trade, Thomas. I think we already saw that in the super chat too. And then sunglasses at night. Thanks again, Hoosiers. Appreciate you. We'll see you all later. Deuces. In the morning. Hour and a half before kickoff. Later.